Mean to you.
Do that. I only met him like once or twice. So did I know him?
Email and then the attached list.
Still, I don't know him. But you know, I mean, it was just one of those things. We're
Okay,
brothers,
where
'cause we're
is
in
the
same
agenda?
organization. We're the same thing. So
Oh, you want?
Oh yeah.
Up your hand.
Very much so. Very much so. What you got here?
That is the email and the attached list.
Okay, where's the list?
Second
Dave.
page.
The what, second page? No, where's the guy, who comes up first on
Renegotiation.
constitutions?
What is that?
Oh, that'll be on the first slide. Just
Okay,
recognize me, I'll pull up the slides.
okay.
I want to tell you what the,
This
a
is
little bit about it.
Robbie. This is what
Okay.
I wanted to renegotiate.
Y'all ready? Y'all good?
But it'll be Jay. It'll be Jay.
Okay. All right, I'd like to welcome everybody for taking time out of their morning to come to this budget workshop. And at this point in time, I'd like to ask Commissioner Ford for the invocation and pledge to the flag.
Right back your heads, please. Lord, we come to you today. We ask you to give us the wisdom to make the best decision for this county. We ask you, Lord, to have your hand of protection over all of our military, first responders, at home and overseas. And Lord, we come to you this day and just ask you for your blessing on everyone here and your protection to and from these meetings. In Jesus' name we ask, forgive us of all our sins. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and again, I'd like to thank everybody. Now, just for the, I think I need to say this, this is a workshop. Us as a board, we will not be taking a vote on anything today because statutorily you cannot during a workshop. Now, what we will be doing, as the agenda number 1 says, is budget request from the constitutional officers. So David will be directing it to that point. David being David Kraus, county manager. And the constitutional officers will come up. They'll present their request. And if the board has any questions for them, that's where we'll leave it. And then at a later time, I'm sure staff will be meeting like the last 8.5 years I've done it. We'll be meeting next week and we'll be talking about our recommendations, their recommendations, and we'll bring a floor budget back to the public, a balanced floor budget, and go from there. But and at the end of the, anything that's discussed throughout this meeting, if anybody, because I've already got some cards from requests from people wanting to speak on a few things, you'll have an opportunity to do so down here at open public comments after we go through the total workshop, because time is of the essence. We're trying to get a budget prepared. And so with that being said, that's where we'll be at this. So if nobody has any questions, staff, at this point in time, David, I'd like to get it started with the budget request from the constitutional officer.
Thank you, sir. As the chairman said, this is a workshop. There is no votes being taken today. This is to give us direction on how to assemble the final budget. Next week, there is another budget workshop where we'll be talking about capital projects and any other outstanding issues that aren't resolved today. And then next week, there's also a regular county commission meeting. So next week's going to be a busy week. So this is just for them to hear what your requests are and for you to explain what it is that your needs are. So with the constitutionals, you have 5 constitutional officers. This is in order, and I believe these are the revised requests that we got in there. We had a couple of last minute revisions. And so we want to start with the clerk of courts.
And Jay, while you're making your way up here, this is a comment to staff. One of my friends, Ms. Proctor, staff, while we're up here making comments today and what have you, please speak into your mics. And so, Ms. Proctor, I'll make sure I do that. So thank you.
And notice he did wear a suit.
Yep, yeah,
We appreciate it.
he's trying to get that other 50% back.
All right, good. Good morning, commissioners. My budget is pretty straightforward, as I'll remind you every year, and for those in the audience, this this funding here is only to support the operations that my office does to support you guys as the Board of County Commissioners. The court side and my employees on the court side are completely different. So my budget request this year goes from 614,163 last year to 702,367 this year. That is a $88,204 increase. However, note that we added that $85,000 position last week to start September and then carry over into next year. So the main where I cut some money at this year was I made a $50,000 plus benefits position into a part-time position, so that saved me some money there. But these numbers do include a 2% COLA raise, like I said, the new position, and then
Okay. Any questions, board? Staff? All right, Jay, you can go back to work.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
The next one is the property appraiser.
Good morning, Board Chairman.
Morning,
We
Jeff.
had an increase this year, 0.04% from last year. It is a whopping $1,040, which makes the total at $1,363,800. That does include the update of the insurance and
Questions, board? I mean, I don't think that we,
I don't want to ask you any questions. We really appreciate y'all doing this with your budgets, all of y'all.
thank you, Jeff. Mr. Kyle King.
Tax collector.
You want to clap after we find out what the money is.
Good morning. My budget this coming year is gonna be 2.5 million, about a 4% increase over last year, which includes our updated insurance and I did 2% full raise for my employees.
And for the sake of the public, his budget is based more on a percentage of collections than any types of fees and other things.
Correct. Funded by transactions in my office. That's $10,000 buffer right now.
Real quick, Kyle, if you don't mind, share what you just shared with us up here before the meeting about the $2 deal on the driver's license. That was pretty neat.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we're funded by transactions that we do in our office. You renew your tag, we get a fee, driver license, we get a fee. Most of our services are state mandated. We use local property tax dollars to mandate because the fees we get in the state of Florida aren't sufficient to cover work done. For example, what we're talking about, you renew your tag in our office, I get a $2 fee for doing that work. Same $2 fee was given in 1982. It hasn't changed since. So that was back when the state operated regional driver license offices and everything throughout the state. Now they have 0 offices, still getting $43.
So y'all are redheaded stepchildren, right? Okay, gotcha.
Pretty much.
I just thought that was unique. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any questions, board? Okay. Thank you, Kyle.
Supervisor of elections. Tommy is unable to be here. She had a previous appointment that she could not change, and she has sent a representative.
Morning, board members.
Morning.
Yeah, Ms. Tommy was unable to make it today due to medical appointment schedule. Sent me my skip banner. Those of you who don't know me. We're looking at a slight budget increase this year, about 4%. This is for we're also looking at an increase for cybersecurity services we're doing. As with a lot of other things at the federal level, there's funding cuts.
That's all I had.
Okay. Board? All right, Kent, thank you a lot.
Yes, sir.
After supervisor elections is the sheriff.
Morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Will.
All right, I'll be brief. I just want to let you know what kind of shape we're in. I came in, evaluated this for about 7 months. Still in the evaluation period, tweaking things so we can
Wally, can you talk into the
Talk,
mic a little
yeah,
bit?
yeah.
We can't hear you.
They can't hear you, and
That better?
TV land can't hear you.
Mic's not working
do that
apparently.
better.
I don't think that mic's working.
All right, I'll talk loud. Back to the business, compared to state salaries, I'm 28. This year I'm asking for a 15% increase, 2% retirement, this is the last. Last year, people that left, I averaged 2.9 years experience. This year, I've had 14 leave, and I'm averaging 7.5 years. I had one more yesterday that walked in, gave us notice to leave, so that's gonna bump that average up. I've been operating pretty much for the staff of most stuff in there. And, best thing that I can say is Fernando Cortez. I don't know if y'all know, familiar with him. He's the one that went in and defeated the Aztecs. And when he got off his ships, he burnt the ships. That's where I'm at. We got to burn the ships. We can't continue. We have to. I'm here addressing the board respectfully, telling we're in a critical time. And we want to save community, economic growth. We're going to have to start. This, understand this is the first fight. I'm asking for 17. We're 28, but I've got a little bit. So, we weren't all dealt this hand. Well, we were dealt this hand. We had nothing to do with getting dealt. We got to do something. Thank you for your time. Do you have any questions?
I have one.
Yes, sir.
So Wally, are you proposing a 17 or 14% raise, 15% raise for all your employees or just the sworn deputies?
Right now, Commissioner, to answer your question, I only have 8% civilian staff, and they will not be raised at the level that others are, but they've been neglected too, so I have to raise it. I don't really know what percentage that is right now. I can get it, tell you later, no. Coming back and forth, give you a full estimate. But just to give you a breakdown on my staff, so you're aware, some people have asked me. 76% of my staff is one. Largest majority, I'm over 3/4. I have 12%. Let me explain this, of civilian technical staff, whether they're IT, they're crime scene, booking officers, something that we could do to reduce cost of that, bring them in. Our civilians take something close. And the rest of my civilian staff is 8%, one that actually do the paperwork, different things that make the operation flow, which is probably well below what a normal agency operates. So that's where we're at. Any other questions?
So Sheriff, you think that with your increases, you're gonna be able to increase the amount of people that you keep in your staff rather than letting them go down the road somewhere else?
Yes, sir. That's what I'm trying
Okay.
to do.
Oh.
I'm trying to bring people back. I've got 6 or 7.
Okay, well, I understand. I know, and I can check the differences in the wages here and there.
Yes.
And I know you're below what's there now,
Yes,
so,
sir. When I came in, start salary, sheriff's office,
right.
based on 3% that y'all held in advance, got the salary up. Due to the way the legislation was conducted this year, the legislative session, I did best guesses what they were gonna do, what the
Well, I appreciate your concern as a officer of this county. You're doing the best you can to make all these people look better, you know. Not only yourself, you're making everybody look better.
Sir, I'm not doing anything here to direct the department.
Right.
The people that work
Yeah.
in that department, are the ones that stepped up to play.
I understand that, yeah.
Exactly what I'm at.
Yeah, I know you got good people work for you, okay?
Yes, sir.
No problem.
I'm gonna retain as many of them as I can. And something else that you may not do. I had a lieutenant leave a while back. I run into a DLE agent the other day, talking with them, one that I met. I offered them a job to come in. You know what they did? They left it. Why would they come over here at a reduced rate to work hard?
Right, yeah. It makes sense. I understand. Understand where you at.
And Sheriff, if I may, I'm sorry, did I cut you off? Okay, myself, I've had many conversations with the sheriff, on this issue. And not only we're dealing with a situation that's trying to get our officers to a critical rate of starting pay. This problem goes back as far as 25, 30 years ago. It wasn't addressed properly, in my opinion, at that time on an equal basis. And, you know, for whatever reasons, it just never got to that point. So we all realize we're not going to fix this in overnight. But one of the things that the sheriff in Columbia County and throughout the state is dealing with is, I call it preemptive. The state of Florida is working against us, in my opinion, because they've started, Department of Ag has started their own police department. And officers with 15 years, one just south of us here, 16 years, walked out. And, but he walked out because he was offered $18,000 a year more to go to work for a state agency. We locally cannot, we're competing with the state of Florida. And, you know, I can show you the reserves over there compared to over there. It's not even in the same ballpark. So this is another thing that our sheriff is dealing with, along with the other 6, 7 sheriffs in the state of Florida. And this is very, very weird times. And I've already asked the sheriff, we're going to try to collectively as a board with the sheriff and go to Tallahassee, sit down with our representatives and show us that, you know, this is critical times. And any young man trying to start a family or whatever, when he's out there and he can walk over here and make $47,000, $50,000 a year, but he can jump across here to go to work for Department of Ag and make another 10, 15,000. Now we're talking about starting salaries, but when they're hiring experienced people that your taxpayers have trained and what have you, this is what these sheriffs are dealing with. And, you know, did I miss something, Wally? I mean, we didn't rehearse this, but this is what you're dealing with, I'm sure.
But we have to attract them in.
Right.
Once we get them in, we have to thank them.
Right.
Because we're going downhill. Effectively, trying to gain during a period of time. There's a bill and to other agents. This was before all that. So, got a drop wave coming in. On my belt, on the top layer. And trying to pick up.
Yep.
Not that there's not capable people there. But training aspect of it, training is good.
Well, I don't know what the outcome is going to be. I feel like staff and us as commissioners are going to work with you as hard as we got to. This is serious times right here, and we're going to do everything we can to, because the citizens of North Florida, they deserve it. And but I just wanted the public to understand, this is not a local problem that has created this to the point. It is partially, but that is here, but the preemption part is here. And so anything that Tallahassee is really, I'm not even going to go into it, but we just found out something this morning, myself and Mr. Kirby and our building, you know, a deal about subdivision. I'm not going to bore you with that, but that's a shocker, you know, what we're dealing with. So, but I appreciate it, Wally. Yes, sir.
I am the fifth sheriff in my career.
Yep. Yep. Well, I appreciate what you're doing, and we're going to get there one way or the other. We're going to work together and try to make this thing happen. So
Board?
I want to talk to him, and this is really, we're gonna do everything we can. I know that we're working together right now to try to figure out some way to get everything you need. Because it is a tough year. We're looking at a tough year this year, just because of preemption mainly. The governor doing, giving raises to everybody, but not to us. But I can guarantee you, I'm looking back there now, every one of those guys has either come close to saving my life or kept me from getting beat down. I can tell you, every one of them, looking at them right now, because of what I do for a living. So there's nobody that loves them guys better than me. You know what I mean? Everybody thinks that I'm not as tough as I look. Them fellas are. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I know. Yeah. And they're probably got to go to shift work tonight at 5 o'clock, and we're all going to bed. So what I'm saying is I'm a pro law enforcement. I have always have been, and I want to get you as much as we can. If we can't do it all, I want as much as we can. And if I could give you $10 million, I would. It's just we go by a budget, but I just want to appreciate all you guys. Always have and always will. And this is where public safety starts. And you're right about economic development. You're right about everything. If you got a safe city, and I'm going to tell you something else. These state law enforcement, if there's any highway patrolmen in here, don't write me a ticket, but they don't do the work these guys do. They don't do it. Their work is not near as dangerous as these fellas here. They don't know what they're looking at. They don't have backup coming. We got officers. It's tough for them because I worked as law enforcement when I was younger, and you have deputies that are strung out by themselves. Typically, highway patrolman's got 3 or 4 guys following him, and state law enforcement is well funded. So, in my opinion, these guys do the most dangerous law enforcement work in the nation, bar none, federal or anybody else, because they drive up on U.S. Marshal drive on a situation. He knows what's happening. These guys don't. When they pull up on a situation, that guy could be a murderer holding a gun in his hand to shoot him when they walk up the car. So, to me, this is the elite law enforcement in this country because they are unknowing and they're making $47,000 a year to get shot at. So, Yeah.
Sheriff's office, highway patrol, those 50 are the only ones that
Right. But it's just, I've been around law enforcement all my life and was in it, but I just respect those guys, and they do need more money. There's no doubt about it. And I hope we can give it to them. Our commitment is to do the best we can. I can tell you that, because it's a big ask, but it's something that, like we said, has been down for years. You take 1% a year for 25 years and you got 25%. You don't know how that happened and why it happened, but over the years, I think we've just, it's just something that built up. So I appreciate you coming, and I appreciate your honesty and being so open with us like you are. We really appreciate it. I know Kevin does. Yeah, I know. And that's a good thing.
And
That's all I got to say.
Sheriff, we appreciate you. We're going to work with you on this. Public safety is vital for our community. We have to have you guys. We appreciate all the work that you guys do. It's dangerous, and we have to have public safety. So I appreciate what you're doing. And again, we're going to work with you on this for sure.
And Wally, before I let you sit down, just for the record, the state of Florida enhanced the monies that they send to adjust salaries by $300,000. We appreciate that a lot. And just for the record, the sheriff's initial ask was however many dollars, and he went back and reduced it once we found out that Tallahassee was sending another $300,000. That shows great valor, and that's very appreciative. The state is doing some, but my argument is they can do a lot more. So we'll get there, and we're going to be present, in Leon County this year, and hopefully we can get some cooperation. We'll see where it goes. But yeah. Oh, you got to, because you're going to drive. And by the way, Robbie's phone's burning up here. But what that statement you made, so you're in trouble. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Sheriff.
I'm going to have to get a driver.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
So now we're going to move into outside agencies. Based on their initial requests, not current requests, last year we funded $1.624 million in this category. If we funded all the initial requests, it would be up to 2 million or $389,572 increase in funding if you funded all requests at the full ask. Just to kind of give you an overall picture. So as we start with outside agencies, we go basically the way it is ordered in the budget. So the order is basically how it has been ordered over all the years. And we start with the Columbia County Health Department. They're basically asking for the exact same amount of money. The next group that requests money every year is Palms Medical. Is anybody from Palms Medical here? They also are requesting the same amount of money as last year. The next one that typically is in there is the Lake City Humane Society. This one's a little different in that last year we funded them at $375,750. It was a contractual service. This year, we had a discussion last week of us building shelters, building kennels. And so I'm not quite sure what they're going to ask for this year, but the Lake City Humane Society is the next item.
Representative? Budget representative? Morning, Ms. Batten. If you would, please state your name for the clerk. Thank you.
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Chris Batten. Can y'all hear that?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
I've been asked to represent the Humane Society. The Humane Society has been in this community going on 50 years. It's grown from a wooden shack with no heater air, plank floors where you could see the ground beneath. The shack's long gone, but the remains of hundreds of dogs and cats are buried on that land across from the wastewater treatment plant. The founders of this organization were passionate about saving these animals, even when there were no funds granted from local government. And so often, most expenses were paid out of their own pockets. Thankfully, the city and the county have supported our cause in providing our community with a crucial and necessary service. So here we are at a crossroad, facing the loss of funds so desperately needed to continue our mission. And the main reason? We refuse to select 10 dogs every week to kill, which in turn would free up kennels for more dogs to be brought in from the county. We are a humane society, and I ask you, what is humane about killing dogs simply because we don't have room? The Humane Society asked for a workshop, a discussion, and a renegotiation of our contract several times over the past several months. We were never granted that request. All we wanted was to work together with you for a common cause. Was there more than one proposal made by the county staff? No. And did we have the opportunity to brainstorm together and consider other solutions? No. A county animal pound could be a viable solution, but what the county staff proposed and what was approved is not. Some points I'd like you to consider. First of all, the numbers don't add up. And we'll figure it out as we go along, which is what we've been told. That's not good enough. These are God's creatures, living, breathing, helpless. While considering the facility, which could take easily up to 6 months to construct, will you continue to contract with the Humane Society at the current monthly allocation? And we were told there'll be no accommodations for cats and kittens. So the Humane Society will continue that community service. Will you contract with us for that? And just curious, why would 2 additional employees cost $140,000 annually, even with 25% in benefits? Do the math. That's about $50,000 per person annually. Were you provided the cost of inmate labor? outside the additional enforcement officer to oversee them. We were told by county staff that the inmate labor was going to be more expensive than originally estimated. I'm not sure that was even a line item expense on the PowerPoint that was presented. And have you considered building additional kennels, drainage improvements, in-kind services at our facility and allocating enough funds for additional staff? I believe we could hire at least 4 to 5 kennel techs for what you're proposing to pay 2 employees. And what kind of checks and balances will be in place for all incoming dogs? Will you have a working contract with a licensed veterinarian to oversee euthanasia for the dangerous, severely injured, or unadoptable dogs? And who and what are the organizations county personnel have reached out to for assistance in rehoming these dogs? We've seen no evidence of that. The Humane Society has an extensive network already in place. Have you considered stronger enforcement of the already adopted local law ordinance on animal control, in addition to the minimum required by state statutes? And how much revenue is really being generated in fines by animal enforcement? The Humane Society Executive Committee was told to request less money this year, so there would be funds for a new facility. We were also told we could go back to asking more the following year when the project was finished. Is this true? Are you aware of this promise? And what guarantee do we have? In any event, the Humane Society would like the county to please continue to contract with us in the interim. We request the same or renegotiated terms of our contract with the modifications that were sent to the county for renegotiation several months ago. We never had the opportunity to engage in those discussions. And why would the county want to reinvent the wheel when the Humane Society is up, operational, and making a remarkable contribution to this community? Does the county really want to get in the animal pound business? We don't believe we have enough time right now to come up with a perfect plan, but I believe there is one. Approve the current allocation for the Lake City Humane Society. Approved budgets can be amended, and the actual cost for the proposed animal pound facility is an unknown and could easily become your white elephant. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So just for clarification, Ms. Batten, your ask is 413,530, correct?
No, the existing contract. And we are willing to negotiate that at $375,750. Again, we are willing to negotiate that contract.
Okay.
I don't think we realized what was last week, that it was going to be so cut and dry. We weren't really sure it was going to go in that direction. And I apologize. We were not ready to offer this information as other possibilities, but we certainly pray and hope that you will consider this, because you, commissioners, could definitely be the heroes in the animal community. Thank you so much.
Board, any of y'all have any questions for Ms. Batten? Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so that ask, David, is 375,750. Everybody, a majority of the people in this room is aware of why most people are here. And I think it's just, Ms. Batten, that was a very good presentation. But with respect to that, I've got to reach over to Mr. Kirby, if you don't mind, come to the podium and please clarify some of these details that was surely not brought to us to that point, if you don't mind, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'm a little confused. So let's start with a history lesson.
back prior to 23, October 23, those of you that were on the board at the time, and the managerial staff, we were inundated as it related to complaints about picking up animals. So we know how we got here. Back then, there was a conscious decision made by all, contract with the Humane Society to take care of our animals. The director of animal enforcement today was an employee of mine at the time. He had a passion. Tom and I worked together to set up a work order system equal to that of other departments. I think all would agree the phone stopped ringing. I think everybody was satisfied with the program. That worked extremely well from October of 23 until about 3 months ago. About 3 months ago, Tom informed me the current director made a conscious decision to become a no-kill shelter, which is well within their privilege. What did that affect us on our side of things? Heard the word contract in here many times this morning. We do have a contract. The director made a conscious decision to break that contract. That's okay. It forced us into a tailspin. Simply put, the new methodology, the mission statements I heard in the meeting the other day, did not allow both programs to work. There was a meeting that took place with the director, David Kraus, Joel Foreman, myself, I believe 3 board members. At that time, there was a lot of discussion as it related to the differing mission statements. I walked out of that room with a clear conscience that we negotiated. There were 2 separate mission statements. Therefore, I have worked extremely hard putting this puzzle together. Not that I desired to. I left that meeting thinking it was a have to. I told this board the other day, we can simply go back before October of 23 and do nothing. Or we can continue down the path since we have October of 23. So what does that mean? You currently are spending $375,000 on the Humane Society, $525,000 on animal enforcement, roughly $900,000 annually. To continue going down the path that we were, renegotiation, I'm open to that all day long, guys. I thought that's what we did 2 weeks ago. So where you're looking at today, and we've been real busy, and to clear up some confusion, and Mr. Parnell, you sent me an email as recent as this morning or last night. We hit a lot of challenges. So at first, we thought it was going to be excellent, located at the sheriff's office, or the jail rather, all logistical problems with security and things of that nature. So we've made a conscious decision, if we go forward, to build the kennels over on the public works side of things, okay? Got a real clean area. Mr. Hollingsworth and I took a field trip the other day down to Levy County and to Gilchrist County. We evaluated how they've been doing it for years. We're brainstorming, putting the puzzle together. I was at a very low number when I initially thought what we could build kennels for. What I've learned by visiting other places, they're nice. They're real nice. We're going to have a capital project cost coming up above us. You've got a maintenance cost. It was not feasible to use inmates. It was not feasible to put it geographically at the jail. We're going to have to hire a couple of guys to make this a 7-day a week. I want to wash the pens twice a day. That is $125,000 bump, 2 employees. So instead of for $525, you're going to be more like $650. Down in Levy County, her operating budget, like and similar, $625 was her operating budget, doing the exact same process. So it's not anything abnormal. As far as what happens to the animal, as recent as yesterday, we met with an individual, well-known statewide out of Pensacola, Florida, who's willing to contract with us for a fixed cost of $300,000 annually. And he is of the opinion that he will have a success rate better than we currently have. He's willing to reduce all that to writing. Yesterday was our first initial meeting. So if my math's right, if he can give a better success rate for $75,000 less than we're currently paying, not that we desire to be in this business. That's how I left the meeting 2 weeks ago. So for clarification purposes, I was the person in the room. As Ms. Patton indicated, somebody said funding this year versus funding next year, et cetera. I was the person that said, if I were doing the ask, I would recommend, because it's a wash, if you may. It's gonna cost $350,000, $400,000 to build the office. We cannot move that on board with the third parties. I didn't think of that. By the time you build storage and office similar to Levy County, the kennels, it's gonna be a $400,000 number. That's where the 375 versus 400. You know, you guys are the board, you vote. We're obligated to bring information to you. That was my comment is if we did negotiate during that meeting. Or I think we did. So my thought process was this year, take that funding that's allocated currently for the Humane Society, reallocate it to do your capital project, and then reconsider it next year. But I was the person in that negotiation that made that call. I'm not the board, y'all vote. Mr. Chairman, does that clarify things?
It
Mr.
does.
Chair?
The, I don't know what the date was, but I asked David to present this and it'll be available to anybody in this room. But the request sent upon the county contract renegotiation terms that y'all discussed in that meeting. I think there's might be 10, whatever, many of them. Of course, as mine and your conversation went on, Mr. Kirby, the last two is what really set us in stride to where we're at today. The last 2 points.
Correct.
Lake City Humane Society reserves the right to decline surrender animals picked up at the county due to space availability, adoptability, space or adoptability. Humane Society reserves the right to take only the dogs that are desirable for adoption. So I wasn't in that meeting. I shouldn't have been in that meeting. That's what we pay staff to do. But my point is, these were discussed upon in mine and your conversation, and representative, I think you said the director stated that, yes, this is where we're at. Is that correct?
The director and either 3 or 4 board members had a meeting, Joel Foreman, David Kraus, and myself, for a couple of hours, if I remember properly.
Mm-hmm.
We discussed these items. The last 2 were the deal changer. And in that meeting, I heard mission statement multiple times. Guys, I'm repeating what they said. We have a different mission. We understand y'all's mission. There's 2 separate missions. And I forgot about something a while ago. I talked to Tom, once we figured out the portable that we moved out there was not feasible to move again. And I've got an email on this. I said, Tom, make sure to get Liz. We want to partner, always partner. Part of that process, we had to dig a retention pond based on an environmental resource permit. We've not done that yet. We're in the process of permitting it. I said, look, we'll leave the existing office there. We'll leave the existing 8 kennels there. We'll complete all the in-house work as far as the pond, the landscaping and all. She was very receptive to that. I'm a little confused when we say we didn't negotiate things. That's not true. That's simply not true. At the end of the day, we want to partner with the Humane Society. We never desired to do any of this. It's been a lot of moving parts on my side. We are reacting to this. We are reacting to this. If the Humane Society has changed their position on this, I think that's a whole different conversation.
Mr. Chair?
Ms. David, yes or no? Is this what Mr. Kirby's elaborated? Does that sound accurate to the meeting you were in?
Yeah, I think to really sum it down, we got to a point, which is what Mr. Kirby brought up 2 or 3 meetings ago when we got here, that we have calls. We have to go out and do something. We pick up these animals and the Humane Society is full and can't take the animals, but we have no ability to do anything with the animals because we don't have kennels. So I think that is really part of the crux. And the other thing is, Kevin was talking about the contractor for $300,000. He would be rehoming animals. He would not be euthanizing animals.
Understand?
Mr. Chair,
Yeah,
in conclusion, I want to say one thing.
Yes, sir.
We went from October of 23 until 90 days ago, problem free. No problem. On either side that I'm aware of. It was a conscious decision on the humane part. That's what got us here.
So the nut is, if we have to go out and answer calls, public safety calls, and we have to pick up the animals, what do we do with them? Where do we put them? How do we handle them? If there is no room at the inn, if there is no room at the shelter for us to take them, that forces us into a situation where we may not be able to remove the problem. And have
Okay.
to leave the problem in the field.
Mr. Chair.
Joe,
So I'm going to go further back in time than Kevin did. For many, many years, you had a contract with Humane Society that they did the animal control, the animal enforcement, and what we ended up calling the animal services. It was under a unified contract. This board asked for years, split that up so we know what it is, split that up so we know what it is. Came to a head when you guys finally said, we're going to do our own enforcement. And Kevin won't remember this. The other guys probably will. At that point in time, we did something called a bifurcation. And David and I negotiated it with the Humane Society. It was a strategic bifurcation. What do y'all do that's animal services? What do y'all do that's separate from animal control? And we hashed all that out. And so you had two contracts from October 23rd, 23 forward. One contract, excuse me, you had the bifurcation of the contract. And then after October 23, we took all the animal enforcement stuff that we had previously contracted with Humane Society. We pulled that back and we moved that into a county department. We left everything on the other side of the bifurcated contract under a category called animal services. Animal services included all the vaccinations, all the things that they do for the animals that we bring to them, but it also required that they would be our kennel, right? Because you can go pick up all the dogs you want. If you got nowhere to put them, it's like a sheriff's deputy that's got no jail to put the bad, put the people. You got to be able to put people
Correct.
somewhere. You got to be able to put dogs somewhere. We can't pick them up and leave them in the back of the truck. This is a necessity. It's like Kevin keeps saying, it's necessary. It's something we don't want to do. We'd rather not do it. But if the Humane Society tells us, and it's their prerogative to tell us this, we are not going to euthanize animals to make room so that you have somewhere to put dogs. That's one, again, nobody begrudges them that. That is absolutely, I think that's exactly right. That's what a Humane Society does. But that means our contractual service, the number one thing we get out of our $375,000 contract, is a place to take animals when we have a public safety call. Hey, there's this dog. He needs to go. He needs to leave our neighborhood. For us to do the public safety function, there has to be somewhere to take the dog. And that's all this is about. That's all this is about. That's why Kevin suggested when the funding's in place to make sure the kennels are built and the county now controls the full animal enforcement process, right? That funding should theoretically show back up in the budget, right? And that was where the suggestion was, hey, if y'all can't get all of it this year, please come back next year. We want to have a collaborative relationship. We want Tom to continue to have a collaborative relationship. We fully expect the Humane Society to be looking over our shoulder every step of the way.
Sure.
But now they won't be a county contractor. They'll be an independent 501c3 not-for-profit agency with a mission. And so they'll be probably calling Kevin. We went out to the kennels. They don't look as clean as they need to be. We did whatever we did. And then the overlap between the two agencies in terms of those animals will actually be consistent with what their terms were. We will only take animals that, are adoptable, that we think we have a chance to save. That's right. We won't ask you to take any that you don't want. Our contract right now is kind of requiring them to take animals they don't want, which has created crowding, which has created problems for them. Again, I think everybody gets it. We're really just talking about the money at this point. But I don't think you can talk about the money without understanding the full history of how this all worked out. And Commissioner, I know you've been here a long, long time. You know the history real well. I think Commissioner Ford knows the history fairly well. And Everett, I think that was during your off term, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We did, okay. So, but again, I feel like it's important, not just for you guys, but for the public to understand there is a long history here. And what's happened is the contract has sort of served its purpose. We've gotten beyond that. And now we're going to take enforcement full-time in-house. We're going to do everything on the enforcement side, keep them away from it because they don't really want to have to do with the ugly business we have to do. Let them be a Humane Society. Let them look over our shoulders. Let them keep us in check. And just like you fund Meridian and other not-for-profits that provide public service, you'll just fund them that way. It'll be outside of a contract. So,
Mr.
I
Chair,
appreciate it, Joe. Yes, sir.
for clarification purposes, to echo what Joel's saying, you currently, a month ago, spent $900,000 between the two entities, okay? Your capital side, one-time capital expense, and your operational side is somewhere around $1 million between the two this go around. Once the capital cost is gone, that's going to take you back to about $650,000 annually in lieu of $525,000 annually. Reason for the expensive capital cost is to remind the board and the public, The initial business model, we constructed 8 kennels, nights, weekends, and holidays. Contract was simply a pass-through. When the decision, which is their prerogative, they changed their business model, that no longer works. We're building 40 kennels. We talked to our neighbors that have to do this same process. Somewhere around 40 to 50 kennels is what that takes. For clarification, Mr. Hollingsworth reviewed the way they got guillotines and they separate the bad dogs and the good dogs in individual kennels. You know, we're going to have, if we go forward, we're going to have real nice accommodations, heaters, fans that blow the liquid air, stuff like that. So I've got my team working on that as we speak, putting the final pieces to the puzzle together. Somebody mentioned cost. We're going to try to do all the work we can in-house, the site work, the permit, the engineer. We're trying to minimize this. Not that we ever desired to be in it. Okay?
Okay, I want to clarify something. You said guillotines. We don't mean, because this will come out, and they will say on social media that we're going to use guillotines.
Right.
What a guillotine means is a door that slides up and down that keeps a bad dog away from the good dogs. That's what that is. I just want to, because I promise you, that will be put out in the media. So that's not what it is. But it's an inside-outside pen, which is very desirable.
It allows the animal, a good animal, he can be out in the sunshine with a roof, or he can be inside, basically.
Right.
It's a nice program.
Yep, yep.
Mr. Chairman, good?
And
In
Go ahead,
addition,
Robbie. Go ahead, Mr.
can we get a little more clarification on the contractor? Because I think that's what's probably going through some of these folks' head, going, well, who is this contractor? Is this guy just going to take dog? But let's give them a little background on the guy. And I think that their minds will be eased, because from what I hear about the guy, he's amazing, and he's in the Humane Society business.
So,
Okay.
yes, sir. Mr. Chair, members of the board, for clarification, we had our first meeting, well, my first meeting. Tom has met with the guy in the past. This man, I've not reviewed on paper, but an hour and a half talk yesterday. This is what he does. His wife is the president of the Humane Society, I think he said.
Pensacola, Florida.
Pensacola. This guy is willing to negotiate a fixed rate contract. So we took a look at what are we spending on dogs right now contractually. It's roughly $575 per dog. $375,000 process, I think it was 600 animals. It totals like $572 per animal. So we use that as a benchmark, assuming 600 or 700 dogs, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, at the end of the day, I said, here's where we're at. We don't want to be able to tell somebody, no, we cannot come get your dog. So he's willing, his attorney is going to get with our attorney and us, and we're going to evaluate what does that look like. He's running a risk. He's willing to enter a 3-year continuing service contract, $300,000 annually. That might mean he has to come every other day. It might mean he comes once a week or once every 2 weeks, and he's willing to run that risk. His commitment is going to be, we do not tell anybody no about picking up your dog. That is his commitment. He also committed to be 100% transparent. We form a work order system in animal control, that's similar. We do all of it. It's very transparent. I requested him to do the exact same thing. What happens to that animal? His goal, we talked to Gilchrist County, they had a percentage of success. Levy County had a percentage of success. We know what our percentage of success is currently. He indicated to us his goal was to be better than that success. And look, I'm not the man. I'm telling you what he's willing to reduce everything to writing and enter into a contract.
And this guy does this all over the state of Florida.
so this
In fact,
gentleman.
he may be the reason a lot of other counties don't have this problem, because he's got what he said he networks through all over the place
Yes, sir. That
to
was
give
what I
dogs,
understand.
to rehome dogs.
So with this gentleman, it does not preclude the Humane Society from still picking up pets from the county. He's
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
anything that we can't find homes for, he will find homes for. So he's not picking and choosing. He's saying whatever you can't find homes for, I'll pick up, I will find them homes.
Now,
Joe?
Kevin, we'll have to run through a quick procurement on this, right?
Yes.
Our purchasing director was present
I just
yesterday.
want to make sure.
We've not had time to get you, attorney.
That's
But
fine.
we asked all those, this is real, guys. It's fast. It's happening
It's
fast.
very fast.
But, our purchasing director, she was listening very intently. I asked her, is this going to fit under our procurement process? She's of the opinion, yes.
And you know, I will say I haven't had a call about any dog problems in a year and whatever, when we went in this contract. So we've done a good job, but then I had 16 dogs call me about in 1 week when we stopped doing it. I mean, when it just stopped. And actually they called me and said, the people said they can't take the dog, you know, it just, you know, and I mean, it's just one after the other. I really didn't realize how bad it was, you know, till I got that. And one lady had 6 dogs, and I said, yeah, I'll bring you some dog food if you want me to, because she was feeding them, you know. So it's tough. It's a tough situation.
Okay, yeah.
So real quick, I don't know if this is the right time to say it or not, but so we can build a kennel with 40 kennels in it. It'd probably fill up day one with that many dogs out there right now. So I believe that down the road, or even immediately, if possible, I would like to see us partner with our local vets and do a spay and neuter program to try to help mitigate the issue. Because if we don't, we're going to continue. And that's already in the plan, then my bad for bringing it up right now. But if we have that in place, that'll help with mitigating the issue. And it won't be an overnight fix. It'll be a year, 2 years down the road before you actually see real effects of it. But if we have something like that in place, I believe that will help with the issue as having so many stray pets running around. So if they can't reproduce, then essentially you're mitigating the issue.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Parnell, to echo, we have, and I appreciate the comments, we have brainstormed all of that and then some.
Okay.
And you're exactly right. Based on the list that Tom's provided me, phone calls that he's got, that he's not been able to accommodate the last 30 or 60 days.
Right.
We will fill up immediately.
Yeah.
No question. No question. The hope is if we take many avenues to help the situation, that will dwindle. And that's why we're asking our contractor to come in with a fixed cost, because in my opinion, the problem is going to get better as we go. I hope. But he's going to be working if we go down this route, he's going to be working very hard at the beginning.
And I imagine that contractor has a spay neuter, you know, himself. So that would be, you know, in a perfect world, the Humane Society would come and get what they want, then he would come and get the other dogs. Is that what we're looking at?
Mr. Chair, members of the board, if I may, let's build the program right quick. This has moved very fast. We're going to build the kennels. We're going to build the office. It's going to be a red iron building, kind of like a Levy. Office, storage, 40 kennels, they're at Public Works. We're going to try to wash them out twice a day, all that good stuff. We're going to network with all our local vets, all that. At some point during the process, that contractor is going to be in front of this board for the public to see, to put his plan up on the PowerPoint. We're not doing anything elusive here.
Right. That's what I want people to know. This
And I
isn't a
also-
secret agent thing.
And I
It's-
also asked the contractor if this is successful, for quarterly reports,
Yes, sir.
right? We want to see what happened. So we want to go through this thing with our eyes wide open. The reason we're going to put it at Public Works, it's over there in an area not around many houses. It's in a good open area. We have big double gates. And it's going to be where anybody in the world can take a look at what we're doing. It's going to be public record. Contractor's going to be public record. And it's like anything else. If something's not working, you modify it. Okay?
And Mr. Kirby, just to touch on what Ms. Batten said, I personally 100% have plans to continue out our contract of service dollars, you know, until we get to that point. And then if it goes over our contractual time, we'll just have to negotiate that, you know, to what happens beyond that. If we don't make our target date of getting the buildings built, you got a lot of work to do for.
Yeah,
and it comes
Mr.
from
Murphy,
that.
we're not going to be ready October 1.
Right.
That's not reasonable.
Mhm.
But I want to remind you, in an effort of negotiation, we're going to leave office space behind, 8 additional kennels behind. We're going to do all the necessary improvements on our side for them. This is nobody's mad. We're reacting and we understand their mission statement.
I put a pencil to that this morning, Kevin, after my New York discussion yesterday afternoon. And my off bases, and I think I was pretty conservative, about $150,000 services by the time you do the pond, I know you're smiling,
That's,
so
that's a
you don't want
conservative.
me, you don't want me to bid your jobs, I get that.
That's a
but
conservative.
That's pretty conservative.
Yes, sir.
So just for the public's record, we're continuing to invest, but Ms. Kirby, I nobody else has any questions for Dave? Okay,
I have one.
okay, Rock?
So what are we gonna do between now and then?
That, well, part of the purpose of the nice negotiations was, obviously, we're going to be very thankful if they allow us to stay on their property. Now, I've not heard anybody say that that's not possible. We're going to have to wing it, Commissioner Ford. Prior to October of 23, we did nothing. So we're doing the best we can, and we will continue doing the best we can. I have asked my team that let's make this first base, let's make this a priority capital project. I've got Chad and Tom, as we speak, in Levy County, measuring everything there is. That's happening right now. We talked to Water Management District, trying to speed up the permitting process. We're doing everything we know how to do, but it's not reasonable to think we're going to have a $500,000 facility up and running in 8 weeks. I mean, we're going to do everything we can.
Well, Kirby,
So I guess, I guess my question, in the meantime, we're gonna continue to just have the people hold their dogs and can't get them right.
we can do.
We will, the Humane Society will control the narrative. Yes, sir. When we get the call, we've got 8 kennels. If we have kennel space, we'll get the dog. If we don't have kennel space, we have no place to put the dog.
What I want to tell you is I want to thank you a lot, because I know that was a stressful day. We riding, trying to find, you know what I mean, doing what we did with the people at, and we told them our plan, and they, the ones that do this for a living, the ones in the other counties said, you know, these are some of the things you have to do. So we're trying to learn from their mistakes, so we know we don't make a mistake in building ours, and they've told us everything. But I want to tell you, I appreciate the work you do, along with paving and everything else Kevin does. This was a surprise thing. He jumped right on it, and nobody else could arrange all this fast. It just, you're doing a great job, Kevin.
Mr. Chair, I want to finish up by Kevin Kirby owns 22 dogs. I love dogs. I love dogs.
Right.
Thank y'all.
See you there.
Thank you. All right, David. We're moving on to Meridian Behavioral Health. Somebody, a representative here? Yes, ma'am. Come right up.
Hey, Patrick, I believe they have a PowerPoint.
State your name for the clerk, if you would, please.
Good morning. My name is Lauren Cohn. I'm the president and CEO of Meridian Healthcare. We do have, thank you. I also brought copies of the presentation. I don't know if that's necessary, if you'd like them.
We got it on here.
Yeah, we got. Mhm.
Ma'am, will you state your name again for the record? The clerk
Yes,
didn't
it's
get it.
Lauren Cohn. That's COHN. Thank you. So thank you so much for having me here today to present our annual report and funding request. You'll notice that this year's report looks a little bit different. Over the past year, we have rebranded our image, our logo, our name. We've kept Meridian, but we're Meridian Healthcare now. We believe that behavioral healthcare is healthcare, and we offer a lot more than just traditional services, including primary care. So this report has some of that new logo and new look to it. Okay, Meridian, as most of you know, has a longstanding history of delivering these services in the community since 1971, delivering services across 14 counties in North Central Florida, including Columbia County. As part of Meridian Healthcare, we have established our core values, which I wanted to highlight here for you, ensuring that we're always leading with heart, and that's hope, empathy, accountability, resilience, and teamwork. This slide sort of showcases the variety of services that we offer at Meridian, designed to meet the unique and changing needs of those we serve. Those different programs span across education and outreach, integrated treatment, and supportive services. Telehealth services have significantly expanded access to care in Columbia County. And for this past fiscal year, we saw over 1,400 Columbia County residents receive 8,888 telehealth services, which has allowed for faster, more convenient treatment from home and reducing barriers to access to care. The next slide highlights the demographic insights to the specific clients we served in Columbia County. Age distribution highlights that a significant portion of those we serve are young to middle-aged adults, but understanding these demographics help us tailor our services to meet the specific cultural and age-specific needs. The next slide presents our client feedback, demonstrating Meridian's effectiveness in improving health outcomes, as well as satisfaction rates, indicating that the majority of clients are willing to return or would recommend our services to those in need. This slide highlights the specific services provided to Columbia County residents, detailing the volume by adults and children. So you can see for acute care, we saw 435 adults, 155 kids. For outpatient treatment, 1,612, 320 kids. We also saw an increase in medication-assisted treatment and psychiatric care, as well as our mobile response team. The next slide details our payer mix. Most clients served in Columbia County are at or below the federal poverty levels, with our indigent care funding primarily through state dollars, Medicaid, and local funds. Nearly 40% of services in fiscal year 2025 were supported by indigent care funding, with Medicaid covering 29%. While 26% of clients have insurance, that insurance only covers a small portion of needed services, highlighting the importance of public funding to sustain access to care. So, as you know, Meridian is required to seek local matching funds to support our state and federal dollars as well. This year, with the understanding, as many of you have mentioned, that it is a difficult budget year, we are requesting to maintain our county contract at last year's amount of $261,376, consistent, as we mentioned, with previous years. So in closing, I just want to emphasize the progress that we've made here in Columbia County, supporting the residents in need. And I want to thank you again for your support and your partnership.
Thank you very much.
And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Board, any questions for the young lady? Done a good job. Thank you.
Okay,
Yes,
okay, well,
ma'am.
thank you so much.
At this time, Board, I'm gonna rearrange the directive here. I'd like for the Special Olympics group to come forth. I know they got a lot of clients here that'd like to make a presentation, and look forward to hearing what they have. And whoever the representative is, if you would make your way up towards where Mr. Kraus is, and please educate us.
If the flipper's not flipping, can you go to the next slide? Okay, this slide works. So, yeah, they are an outside agency. We usually group them with the recreation type, activity type groups. This year, they're requesting $15,000. I do believe last year, although it wasn't in the budget, we did mid-year give them $10,000. So they are requesting $15,000 for the next year.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Melanie Matias, and I am here on behalf of Special Olympics Florida. And I am going to stall for just a second as some of our athletes needed to use the restroom. So I'm here to request funding of $15,000, which was the same request we made last year, and you generously were able to do $10,000 for us. So what your funding does is a lot for the community right here in Columbia County. So we have just a fraction of our athletes that wanted to show you what it is you're able to do for us with this funding. So athletes, as you're coming back in, if you wouldn't mind just standing real quick. We did have to restrict them to just 2 medals each if they wanted to wear them, so no one broke their back on the way here. We do have some very well-decorated athletes from our Life is Good team right here in Lake City. And before we show our 1-minute video to really explain the impact that this funding does for us, one of our athlete leaders wanted to say a few words to you.
She's over there.
Good morning, Columbia County Commissioners. My name is Carly Dolly, and I am an athlete leader with Special Olympics Florida and longtime Lake City resident. Your funds for Special Olympics Florida means other athletes like me can have a place to feel included and supported in sports and health, all at no cost to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And while I know you have our formal letter and there's lots of numbers being thrown around all day, we just wanted to play a short 1-minute video to really explain what it is that you do for us here.
Thank my friends, I thank my family, I thank Special Olympics, and I thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for helping me get to everywhere that I am right now. Thanks to all my coaches who coached me during this season. Thank you very much.
You know, I want to say something. You haven't gone into it, but when we first did this, this really started with me at Fish Head sitting beside a lady. And the lady looked at me and says, why don't you, oh, there she is. Said, why don't you fund Special Olympics? I said, we don't fund Special Olympics? She said, no. I said, well, come on down there. We'll give you some money. And I'm going to be on, that was what, 3 years ago, something like that. And when she, when she came to me, I found out that y'all give the tooth issues, the family, like y'all do more than just have Special Olympics. You help these families from day one with dental help, all kind of things. So as long as I'm a county commissioner, you're gonna get money.
That's
you know?
right. That's
You don't
right.
have to beg for it. You just come get it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the funding you're able to provide for us, it's not just free sports programming for all of our athletes, it's also free health screenings all
Yes.
throughout the year.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I have a niece who is a very decorated Special Olympian over in St. Johns County. Her name's Catherine Foreman. She's a weightlifter. She's been national. They are Special Olympians every single day.
Yep.
It is that important to their life. And,
Yeah.
and I never would have imagined it. And I saw her when she's little and she's 25, 26 now. And she'll tell you, I'm Special Olympics. I got gold medals. And it's wonderful. It's nobody understands it until you see it.
I thought it was pretty neat. Some of the Olympians over there noticed, recognized herself on that screen. I thought that was pretty cool. That's
Every single person in that video is a resident of Columbia County. We
Cool.
made sure we scrubbed all our photos. Made sure you were just seeing the impact you had on your direct residents.
well, great deal. What y'all do is phenomenal, and I know the help, but it's not enough. But we thank you for what you do. You're special people.
And I will tell you, when I brought that to all the commissioners, they was like, yeah, let's do it. You know, like, no question about it. So this is a big deal.
We do appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you a lot.
Commissioners.
Mhm.
We support you.
And I will ask you to excuse us as we like to get our athletes to their next program.
Thank you.
So we'll
Hey, Patrick,
Roll it backwards, Petra.
go back a slide. Thank you. Columbia Senior Services.
Commissioners.
Morning.
My name is David Huckabee. I serve as the Executive Director for Columbia County Senior Services, and I thank you for the chance to come before you today. As you can see, we are asking for continuation of funding for $250,000 even. That's the same amount we've received from you all for several years now. We very much appreciate that. So as you all are aware, Columbia County Senior Services has been a private nonprofit in this community since 1972, providing our mission is to help all seniors age in place in this community to delay or prevent institutional placement, which not only increases quality of life for the senior and their family, but also reduces costs to government programs for institutional placement. So I'd like to talk briefly today about what your dollars have done over the past year and what we hope to continue to do with your support in the year to come. We operate 2 congregate meal facilities in Columbia County, one in Lake City and one in Fort White. And between those 2 facilities, we have served over 10,000 meals over the last year to individuals who come in. They don't only come for their meal, although the meals are great, that we serve for lunch every day. We have a professional chef on staff now that cooks those fresh for our seniors every day. But they also get social interaction and get to participate in all sorts of activities. We also, very importantly, provided over 30,000 home delivered meals, or what's traditionally called the Meals on Wheels program, throughout Columbia County. What I always stress when I talk about this program and the support and what it means to the community is that our drivers, when they're delivering those meals, are not just delivering nutrition, and it is often the only nutritious meal that senior receives that day, but they are also often that person's only point of contact. So if there is an emergency situation or that senior is just not doing as well, our drivers or our volunteers are often the first to notice that and report it and get help when needed. We also in the last year provided over 17,000 hours of in-home care. That goes beyond our meals programs. We're providing homemaking, personal care, respite care for caregivers who need a break from caring for their loved ones for whatever reason. And we do that through our funding as well. We also operate here in Lake City at our center, our licensed adult dementia facility, which operates Monday through Friday and provides a wonderful support system for people with Alzheimer's disease and other dementias. Most of their caregivers are working, and many of their caregivers tell us they would not be able to continue working in the community at their jobs if they did not have our facility as a place to provide structured entertainment and activities and nutritious meals, and also tire their person with dementia out so that they sleep through the night. And if anyone in here has been a caregiver for someone with Alzheimer's, that alone is the gift worth giving. We at Columbia County Senior Services are dealing with the same increased costs that everyone here deals with. Our insurance premiums have gone up between 10 and 15%. We've had several capital expenditures. We're currently in the middle of our Raise the Roof campaign because our roof has aged on our Lake City facility. We had to replace our hot water heater several months ago, and our walk-in cooler went out yesterday morning. So we are working on getting that replaced as well. I'm happy to report to the commission that we have a robust private fundraising program. We also go after private grants as well whenever possible. We're also working as hard as we can to leverage our volunteer hours and services to keep costs down and to cover those increased costs. And that's why even though our expenses have gone up, we are able to come before you and say that we would like the $250,000 to continue services at the current level, and that we believe we're able to do that with other funding sources as well. And in closing, just mentioning one other certain important fact that one of the other people up here mentioned, this local funding also serves as a match for our state and federal grants, which form part of the meat and potatoes of our budget. And we would not be able to draw down those state and federal dollars without the $250,000 we receive from you all as our local funding. So we thank you very much for your support, and I'm happy to answer any questions from the board.
Where's the dementia center location?
So the dementia is located in our Lifestyle Enrichment Center on
Okay.
Bay Avenue here in Lake City. It's at one end of the building. What we always say is it's a secure unit, but not a locked unit. So we do keep those individuals secure throughout the day. We have a lot of protocols in place, but they also get to participate in the activities of the center. So when we have musical entertainment or other activities in our main dining hall, they're able to participate and therefore feel that they are still contributing, which they definitely are.
Good deal. Board, any questions?
Again, we thank you. for
All
what
right.
you do.
We sure do. Thank you a lot. Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
your support.
Have a great day. Okay.
Swanee Valley Four Cs. It's the next page.
You want to pass them down?
Good morning, Mr. Chair, board members. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here to share information about our program and with everyone present today that may not be aware of our services. My name's Michelle Ward. I'm the Executive Director of Swanee Valley 4Cs, Swanee Valley Community Coordinated Child Care. And we have been in operation, our agency, since 1985, providing early childhood education services in our community, so for 40 years. Our agency is a private, nonprofit, 501c3 agency. We have, in Columbia County, we have served 163 children each year, birth to 5-year-olds. Head Start is a national program that provides comprehensive health, nutrition, and early childhood education services to birth to 5-year-olds. The program also provides family development services by helping families struggling with poverty or other socioeconomic challenges to achieve their goals in life and become self-sufficient. As the local Head Start grantee, we are the grantee for Columbia, Hamilton, Lafayette, and Suwannee counties since 29 years. So in 1996, we started providing Head Start services. We serve the neediest of the needy families, the neediest of the needy birth to 5-year-old children in our area. So we serve, we've heard many talk today about different sectors of the population. So we're serving the neediest of the needy birth to 5-year-olds. The vast majority of families served are low income. 94% of our families are low income at or below the federal poverty level. Foster children, homeless children, and children with disabilities are categorically eligible for our program. Our program is free to these families. The Head Start program is highly regarded in the nation for constantly evolving to ensure best practices in the program and in the field of early childhood education. Program services are tailored to meet local needs in the community. So we work with the community to ensure that we're aware of the needs in the community and of these families and that we're meeting those needs. We're not simply a daycare. Our program services are very comprehensive and build on essential foundations of early childhood learning, providing children with the academic and developmental skills they need to succeed in school and in life. We provide comprehensive individualized services that include health services that ensure families have a medical home, children's health needs are assessed, and developmental, hearing, vision, lead level, TB, hemoglobin screenings, dental exams, tracking of height and weight. Health issues are addressed that may impact a child's ability to learn, and then follow-up treatment is provided. Services for children with disabilities and mental health services are provided. Nutritious family-style meals are provided. Promotion of proper dental hygiene, up-to-date well child care visits, health and nutrition record, and family health care plan developed with the family. Parent involvement in screenings and the follow-up treatment. The parents are involved in the program, and there's community collaboration for those services. All of these services ensure that children's health needs are identified and that they're resolved so that those children are ready to learn. We also provide education and early childhood development services. We have 8 centers and 32 classrooms in our 4-county area. We have low teacher to child ratios. We provide developmentally appropriate educational materials, equipment, and activities that incorporate math, science, language, literacy, music and movement, dramatic play, exploration, etc. We have a developmentally appropriate curriculum, safe, healthy, inclusive environments. We track child outcomes. Children are assessed 3 times a year. Parents are involved in goal setting for their children. And we do home visits and parent conferences. Family services as well. We have family support specialists that work with each family on their goals and their follow-up. Parents, as I mentioned, are involved in the program. We provide parent workshops, training on nutrition, health and safety, mental health, budgeting, domestic violence, child abuse prevention, positive behavior support, child development, and substance abuse awareness. We provide transition services for children coming into our program or that may be transitioning from our program to kindergarten. We collaborate with the community again and work very closely with those families, helping them understand the importance of them being involved in their child's education and how to advocate for their child. Head Start delivers lasting benefits for families, communities, and ultimately American taxpayers. Children who attend Head Start are more likely to graduate, more likely to secure stable employment, and actively contribute to the workforce. Their family as well, their parents are benefit from the greater stability and fewer barriers and are able to achieve working within the community and contributing to the community. Research shows that high quality early childhood programs such as Head Start generate a yearly return on investment of more than 13%. Our request is for $10,000, which, in comparison isn't much to what some others have asked. And this request hasn't changed over a number of years. We greatly appreciate the support from the Board of County Commissioners, and we're not asking for additional funds, but please know that that $10,000 goes a long way to support our program and what we do each year. So we appreciate the consideration of your request. We, as just like the Senior Service Center, we have to raise matching funds for the federal dollars that we receive. So we greatly appreciate your consideration. Also, just want to make sure that you are aware of a situation that we're having right now in Lake City. Our Lake City Learning Center, which has been here since 1997, our Head Start and Early Head Start Center, we lease that facility. That facility has 6 classrooms and serves 74 children. And so we have been notified by the owner of the facility that they're looking to sell the building. So we're looking for another location and facing that need to relocate possibly. And so we just want to ask, we've been trying to research what our options may be. We've met with the city manager, we've met with Mr. Kraus, and we've met with the superintendent of schools. And so we will continue to research, all possible options there for what we might possibly can do. Our current lease ends next June 2026. And so we'll continue to reach out within the community to try to figure out, where we're going to be going. But so we appreciate any assistance whatsoever. And I look forward to, speaking with any of you about that in the future and trying to see where we move forward there. Thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I also just wanted to remind the board, this is an organization that has facilities in multiple locations throughout the county, including Fort White.
Yep, seen
So
that.
they have here in Lake City, multiple locations, and they also have a location next to Fort White Elementary School.
Yes, and by Richardson Community Center.
Ms. Ward, you ain't got to go in detail, but real quick, I mean, y'all do a lot for the community. What kind of budget do y'all have?
Our budget is 6.5 million. That budget goes towards the services that we provide and our staff. We have 127 staff. Like 92 of those are teachers. So the bulk of our budget goes to personnel and benefits, for the staff that we have and to support the services that we provide.
8 locations, that's, y'all do a good job. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you
Board?
very much.
Any questions, Ms. Ward? All right. Thank you for coming.
Appreciate it.
So the next agency is the United Way. They did make a request last year, but were not funded. This year, they're making a request for 15,000. We have worked with them in the past on multiple projects, especially during states of emergencies. And they helped us with our CARES and COVID money.
We did. Thank you for allowing me to be here. I'm Jennifer Ankers, the Executive Director of United Way of Swanee Valley. Our mission is to unite resources and individuals to help our community become a more compassionate, healthier, more stable community. We do support our residents in a number of different ways. David mentioned a couple of those, but we support them both directly and indirectly. With that being said, we can support individuals who are going through financial crises. We also partner with local nonprofits and assist them with funding throughout the year, as well as when there are emergency situations that arise for them, especially after a natural disaster. We've helped with repairs, things of that nature. We are the area's local homeless coalition, and we have a program called Reading Pals where we connect volunteers with kindergarten students to work with them all year long on a weekly basis to help improve literacy skills. All of our services really strive to move the needle in areas such as education, health, community resiliency, and financial stability. And so we really want to invest our time and our funds into services that are proven to have outcomes along those ways. And that's not only just within our internal services, but also with the partner agencies that we fund throughout the year in those areas. During disasters, we help the county in a number of different ways. Wherever we can, we definitely want to help. We also start a fundraising campaign. So when Idalia hit, we started a separate fundraising campaign to raise funds to assist individual households who had damages due to that. And we continued that fundraising campaign, obviously, after Helene and Debbie. We recently received another grant for that, so we're still able to assist Columbia County residents with other monies, not yours, not grant monies or federal or state monies. This is all private citizen monies to assist residents who still have damage from Helene, who have not had the resources to get those fixed. So we do provide a number of different services, as I mentioned, and I thank you for your consideration. And again, we continue to be willing to sit at the table and support wherever we can.
Thank you.
Board, any questions? Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
CARC, Mr. Bailey.
Good morning, Board. I'll make this brief. I am Stephen Bailey. I'm the Director of CARC. We come to you again asking for $100,000, same that you have committed to us and contributed for several years and for the many years of contribution that the Board of County Commissioners has made to CARC. For those who do not know what CARC does, we provide services for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. The funding that you provide goes straight to the consumer that we serve. Currently, there is an 8-year wait list for a person to receive services from the state of Florida. They're up until age 22, the school systems are required to provide services. But if you do not apply for the wait list through the Med Waiver Program, it can take 8 years unless there's a crisis for someone to get on. So you imagine a family who has not started that process. They get to the point that they age out of the school system. There's no funding. Mom and dad still needs to work to provide services. That is where this money that you help provide comes into play, that we pull in, and we use it also as our other matches for the funds that we get. So appreciate the support that the board has always given and helped CARC. We couldn't do what we do without your support and also the communities. Also want to make another note on Special Olympics. We participate with Special Olympics quite a bit. This Saturday in Ocala, all those athletes that you saw over here, plus more, will be doing bowling in Ocala for regional games. They have 2 bowling alleys that are in Ocala that will be filled with Special Olympics athletes. If you got a chance, it runs from 9 to about 2 o'clock. Take a trip to Ocala and watch it. It'll bless your heart. Board, do you have any questions?
Stephen, I'd just like to make one point. Anybody here on the board or in the community, take a minute to stop by, visit Stephen and the staff. The improvements that's been made out there in the last 24 to 36 months is phenomenal. You owe it to yourself to go in and me and Stephen, this is kind of internal. There's a young lady by the name of Christy Miller. I'm sure she'll be more than glad to take you on a tour. But it's pretty impressive what y'all have done, and I appreciate it. I really do. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Board.
All right. Thank you.
Steve.
Richardson Community Center.
Good morning, Board.
Morning.
My name is Tammy Magstead. I'm the treasurer of our board at Richardson Community Center. We are asking for the same amount as last year, and I believe you all received packets on the budget and anything regarding that. The only thing I wanted to bring up, because basically I think you've heard of the programs that we do there, and I wanted to bring up just 2 things. We just finished privately funded pickleball courts in the back of Richardson, and it was all paid for privately. And I'm very proud of that, because it's something that we've kind of come before the board and different things, trying to get it done, and it is finished as of now. So that's one thing. And then we are going to be working towards grants. That's kind of something new that I'm going to start working on, because I know that's something that's a big deal in this era of nonprofits. But then one thing else is we got a privately funded donor that contributed to a program that we're going to start October 6th of life skill programs at the Richardson Community Center. And it's going to be a 9-week program that we use for 6th through 8th graders. And we're going to do different kinds of skills as life skills, because so many people have said, we want something different besides sports. So we have the e-gaming, and we had gotten that a couple years ago. But this life skills is going to be things like cooking, etiquette, and money programs. And we're going to just do it as a pilot program the first 9 weeks and see, but we are totally funded. That is separate from what we're asking from the county. So other than that, the basic original amount is what we're asking for. Does anyone have any questions?
Board?
Again, I think what y'all have done with Richardson has been exceptional. And I thank y'all for jumping on that and doing such a great job.
Not giving up yet.
And you've been amazing, because every time you come up here and say, I might not be here much longer.
I
You're
know.
still here.
Great.
So we're going to be mad if you leave. We're going
Don't go yet.
Mark, she's
Don't
not
go
going to
yet.
let you retire, is she?
No. And tell those pickleball folks, I really appreciate everything they did, because that's very rare that people in the
yes.
community pay for their own, that's a big
Yes.
deal.
And then so we really also plan to start doing pickleball tournaments again, because we got something to offer. We have a nice court system.
Yeah, good deal.
So the next one is the summer camp.
Oh, okay.
You're
Yes.
not going nowhere right yet.
Okay, yeah, summer camp is the same amount also that we are asking, and we just finished that. We did that in June, July. It ran very smoothly, way better than last year, and that's the same amount also, yes.
Next one is youth basketball.
Yes, same amount. We're going to be running basketball. Yes, same amount. And honestly, basketball, I will add, we do the program from January to March, and then we're doing Goodwill games. And we did that. We did sponsor that with Lake City Heat this last year. But next year, we're going to work with the CHS and some of the different places and make it huge. We're going to do it in more than one area. So next year's Goodwill games is going to be big, but we only are still asking for the 16.5 because we are going to budget that and build it with the extra programs with the other ones that want to do it.
And then finally, the football program.
Okay, yes, that one, yes, we are still asking for that, but we're having a little bit difficulty with our football program this year because we're competing with Christ Central, and we made a program and it worked through last year. But this year, we're having a lot of difficulty with it. So that one, I'm not sure on. I can't really honestly say how we're going to go forward with that because we aren't getting the registrations like we thought. That's this year. So that one is up to you. I'm not going to fight on that one. Because it's like, I don't know what's
Which one
going to
is
happen.
that?
We aren't going to possibly be able to
Football.
do it this year
No
even.
football for Richardson football. They're
Yeah.
competing with Christ.
We're competing with Christ Central, who has the setup already program, and then trying to get our registers. And we have all our sponsors, but we're not getting the registration this year.
Well, Tammy, I mean, you have many discussions over the years, and I appreciate what it's, my phone quit ringing, whenever the current group stepped in, and you got a big task. And me and you was joking yesterday on the phone about, Mark says, I thought we retired, but it's not happening. So that's, I appreciate what you
Y'all
do.
can't leave.
And it's really appreciated more than you know how much it is, but I got to recognize Chris Carrot. He's not a real big public speaker. He's
He's gonna get his chance.
but Chris, stand up just for a minute. This is Chris Carradine. He's the director of this facility, and done a tremendous job. Kind of quiet in the back scenes, but hey, that's all right, ain't it, Chris? And but
He
he's
has been
he's
phenomenal.
done a heck of a job. He's done a heck of a job. And we appreciate you, Chris. Sure do. So, any other questions for Ms. Tammy?
Just want to say thank you guys again for all that you do. Richardson is a community staple, and we're going to try to help out as much as we can. We have to have Richardson here in our community. It's detrimental for our kids to attend there and go through the program. So we want to make sure that we remain open
Yes,
and
sir.
give you guys the help that you guys need.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you a lot,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Tammy.
Thank you.
So Fort White Youth Football, last year we funded at 7,500. I'm going to check with Clint. I don't think they exist anymore, do they? Following also with Columbia County Youth Baseball, Lake City Columbia County Youth Baseball. Are they here? Last year they were funded at 12,000. We did not receive anything from them so far this year. So I'm not sure what their status is. Any idea, Clint? Okay. Then we're followed by Columbia Youth Soccer. They're requesting to increase to 15,000. Anybody from youth soccer? There was a comment to the side. What was that? So we budget them every year, but they've not been requesting funds. since
Okay,
2002.
that comes out of the budget.
So, Columbia County Youth Girls Softball, we used to fund them at 9,000. I also believe they are no longer around. So again, no requests for funds. The Horse Riding Club, Columbia County Horse Riding Club. They are requesting use of property and some other things. And they are here to speak with you.
Clarence is getting hungry there.
He is, and I have to take good care of him. Because, we've been together 64 years.
Mm.
So,
Pray for you.
I know.
Sorry.
My name's Ann Milligan. I have a, here we go. Thank you, sir. I just hit this little button.
The one on the right.
The one on the right? Okay. All righty, thank you. I'm here representing the Columbia County Riding Club. So, we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to serving equestrians across Columbia County and North Florida. We support both Western and English disciplines with a shared mission of community, education, and horsemanship. We do have a mission to provide a safe, inclusive, and enriching environment conduct, promote, and administer equine activities for all equestrians. We have a lot in this area, a lot of equestrian people. Through access to riding space, horsemanship education, youth development, and I'd like to say that one of my biggest focuses is on youth for this, for us. I know that I'm not part of youth anymore, but we have children and we have grandchildren and we even have great-grandchildren that we want to see continue in this community with the horsemanship programs. Our vision is to develop a community-based equestrian hub that fosters youth development, public access, and rural recreation. We have some benefits of equine activities. I guess because I was raised in Lulu, and the first time I was ever thrown off a horse, I was headed to the general store from where I lived, and I was young. I was young, so I started out early. Clarence did too. He started out in Columbia City. So benefits are health and fitness. Okay, life lessons, social skills, patience. If I've ever learned any kind of patience, it's been with a horse. Having patience with a horse means a lot. It teaches us something also. Accountability. It assists those with special needs. We've had those people available to us that had special needs that we put in our club, and we enjoyed them so much. That's something that we need to continue to do. Psychological benefits, those with deficits, any kind of deficits, physical or psychological. Balance and motor skills, mental health benefits, reducing stress. I was a nurse at Lakeshore Hospital for many, many years until it closed. And my therapy was trail riding to reduce my stress for being on my feet so many hours at that hospital and taking care of so many people, while promoting a sense of well-being. Endurance improves your core strength, encourages an active lifestyle. It also adds to team building. It boosts your confidence and muscle development. There are endless possibilities. Equine 4-H, horsemanship clinics for all disciplines, cattle sorting and team pinning. Of course, we've already talked about special needs and Special Olympics. Community impact, educational programs for youth, 4-H, FFA, and clinics. Affordable access to safe riding. Inclusive events open to the public, family shows, holiday rides. We support local businesses and they support us. Veterinarians, feed stores, and the agricultural economy. Membership and participation, multi-generational, age range from 3 to 80. I'm on the top end of that. Members that have started in the club and have advanced to sanctioned rodeos. Without naming any names, you guys know where that comes from. Equine education and partnerships with local businesses provide a safe and pleasurably riding place for the community. Fundraisers, poker rides, events open to all disciplines. Membership tiers provide affordability and accessibility. So I did a little bit of a market analysis here. The integration of advanced technology is raising popularity in the equestrian sports and increases the focus on horse care and welfare. The equine industry is growing and highlights the fact that it is a major player in the global economy. with a market size of over 2.69 billion. This figure is a clear indication of the industry importance and potential for that growth. I also did a little bit of got some community feedback from different people. And it was expressed a need for an equine arena for North Florida and South Georgia, especially for youth-oriented activities. Our community is located in a strategic crossroads of I-10 and I-75, north and south, gives us the opportunity to provide a facility that is easy access for new markets. We welcome all disciplines. Rider testimonial and progress stories, we have those, lots of them. Cross-discipline events to build community partnerships with local schools, TAC and feed stores, vets, and other equine groups such as 4-H and FFA. Community day camps, programs and events, annual schedule highlights, spring tune-up clinics, kids western, trail obstacle play days, fun shows and ranch riding, clinics and events, community fun rides and fundraisers. We respectfully request continued financial support, and this will serve as a public benefit for equine education, increase community engagement, promote youth, recreation, and agricultural development, be maintained and improved by this nonprofit club. Operations plan is to obtain a dedicated facility and location, respectfully requesting use of county property. Increase memberships, sponsor participation, access areas for trail rides and community events, begin development planning and management. We as a club want to thank you for your considering this opportunity to invest in our community, our youth, and our rural heritage. We look forward to continuing our partnership with the Columbia County to make our vision a reality. Questions?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
specifically the parcel that they have expressed an interest is in Ellisville. It's part of the utility complex. We have 88 acres. Right now, all of our utility assets are primarily on the south 44 acres. They did take a ride to look at the other acres. They understand that this land is currently utility land and is in flux for the next year or so. They would like to have access to it for rides and other activities if the board so deems it. Did I say that the way you wanted it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We just need a home. We need a home. Questions?
So access, if I understood you correctly, to, I think they had a ride out there on the 19th, is that correct?
Yes, they came up Giles Martin Road, went past those last houses to where there used to be a house that was on our property. And that's where they pulled in, came in, looked at it first, and they came back that next week or so after they provided insurance and proof of 501c3 and everything else, and took a ride. And I wasn't at the ride, so I have to.
We
You
thoroughly.
weren't riding a horse.
I didn't make it.
I love trail riding. I don't do events anymore, but I do love trail riding. It's still a good therapy for me. So did anybody have any
Any
questions?
other questions for Ms. Milligan? Thank you, Ms. Milligan.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much for having me.
Yes, ma'am.
I appreciate you guys.
And as the,
See, he's all nervous for nothing.
as Ms. Milligan is making her way back, I'd like to reiterate on something. She said something that caught my attention, and she is 100% correct. The equestrian world is definitely growing in leaps and bounds in the state of Florida, South Georgia. And the taxpayers of the state of Florida, just for the record, is currently at this time making roughly a $6 million investment with the fairgrounds. Going to have a covered arena and other things to play. And, our phone's already ringing and we haven't even dug dirt yet. But thank the good Lord, I've gotten 2 texts here since this meeting started. Looks like our first phase bids are coming in as we speak. So you're going to see a lot of dirt go to moving pretty quick, and hopefully next year this time you're going to go by there and say, I ain't never seen a building that big in Lake City. But so what Miss Milligan said with her research, she is 100% correct. And the equestrian world is looking upon Columbia County in a big way. So with this investment from the state of Florida, it's big things are going to be happening here in Columbia County. And I just wanted to make sure I shared that with everybody, but we appreciate it. Thank you. All right.
Next is Fort White Soccer. Last year they were funded at $4,250. This year they're requesting $7,730. Is Fort White Soccer here?
There she is. That little girl make her sit here all day like that.
President of the organization.
There you go. Let her speak.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Santana Hatcher. I am a director with the Fort White Soccer Club. I just jump in really quick. I wanted to give everyone an update on the program that we launched last year. It has exploded. So our initial budget was expecting maybe 50, 60 participants. We had 65 or so the very first season. And then spring this year, we had 128 participants. So our costs are based on participation. So if there's more players, we have more uniform costs, more insurance costs, et cetera, et cetera. So we also ran into an issue last fall. I don't know if you're familiar with our location. So we are at the South Columbia Sports Complex in what is starting to be called the Fort White Soccer Fields, but up until recently were the parking for the rec center, community center. So there is no lighting out there. We had a setup going last season that was a little dangerous, a little precarious, but we had generators and work lights out, and it worked. We were able to, do our season, but I think that it would be a little better to have something a little safer. So this time in our budget, we have put in for equipment rental where we can get a big light for the duration of our season to have out there for us to see. Our practices usually run until about 8:30, and it's dark at like 7:20 come the end of our season. So just for safety, we're asking for that. Lighting, I think, seems to be pretty far off for the future of that park. So this is kind of our hopeful thing, but it's not cheap. So basically, I'm just as nervous as I was last year. Okay, so basically everything went great. We're doing good. We've got a lot of growth. We seem to be, just getting more and more participants. We funded 42 scholarships this last year, which was amazing. Our scholarships include uniforms, registration fees, insurance, and personal equipment for the players. So generally, whenever you sign up for registration, it includes, your uniform, all that stuff. But the kids are required to provide their own shin guards and cleats. Our scholarships include that for families who cannot cover it. And in the event that they get destroyed or the kids grow very quickly, we will also replace those for our scholarship children. So that was exciting to be able to do that. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. We're just asking for a little bit more to cover the participation that exploded. We've got more. Oh, and last year we ran with Alachua and Levy County and then us. But this year we are actually bringing in groups from Swanee and Lafayette to come play with us as well. So we're already exploding. So that's very exciting. So we posted a couple of tournaments where we've had, teams from different counties come in and play with us. And it's been a lot of fun. We have 4 or 5 host days this next season. So we're expecting lots and lots of traffic coming through. So I think it's going well.
How many teams did y'all have last year?
So we had 12 teams total. Our younger kids, we keep them in-house and we play them against each other on our fields. But traveling, we had 8 teams.
18.
And we traveled to Williston, Newberry, High Springs. We did not, and Bronson last year.
I know y'all had a lot of participation. I see y'all practicing.
We live out there. Yeah, so no, it's done really well. And like I said, we reached out to the programs, in Mayo, and Branford's building a program. And so we've reached out to them and they're going to come and play with us as well. So that'll be a fun, new, scary adventure, but it's what we do. So anyone have any questions?
I think the seat just ate your child. She sat down, it closed on her, she went.
She's been folded up in the seat all day.
This will be your 3rd year or 2nd year?
This is our 2nd year.
That's what I thought.
And actually, we were supposed to only run a fall and a spring season. I get a phone call from Levy County. Hey, no, Union. It was Union that called us. Sorry. It was, what is the name of the, like Butler. That's why I said it. So we get a phone call from them just as I sit down. I put my feet up. I'm like, oh, the fall season's over. And he says, hey, you got some teams that can come play me in the winter? So we just extended our season. We didn't have any registration fees or anything. We reached out to our players and we're like, hey, is there anyone who wants to just continue our season? And they did, and it was a lot of fun. So we may make our winter season official, but that was a lot of fun. So this summer I've just been crashing.
I got this one. When you say scholarships, what do you mean by that?
So we typically charge an $85 registration fee to help cover all of the costs incurred. So we have to pay, obviously, insurance per child. We have to pay for their uniforms. We have to pay for, we need to have a ball per child for practicing and whatnot. And then also with the league that we run with that includes Williston and Bronson and that side of the river, we have to pay fees for that. So for every team that I submit to them, I have to pay $350 per team. So we break that up in between, for each child, and we pop that into registration. The way that our registration is each full team will support one scholarship. So if everyone pays the full 85, we can cover one scholarship per team with the registration fees. That was built in. So when we say scholarship, we mean we have an application form where anyone who needs the financial help, whose child would like to participate in our program, but they cannot cover the $85, the club covers that with whatever we have from wherever we have it. So whether we have it from you guys, which you guys were a big support this last year with that, whatever we have from you, anything that we can get from sponsors, anything like that, we use to cover that insurance and all of the individual things that each player requires.
Somebody shared that procedure that y'all are doing. I like that, because it's always been heartburn that myself and Tammy's had this conversation, taxpayer dollars go into sponsoring other things, and of course, in some of these presentations, you see zero cost, for registration, and that's a tough one to overcome. But I like that a lot because years ago, when I was with Babe Ruth, we used to do the same thing, real similar in that. But the way y'all doing, I like that. That's the group is investing in the kid that needs help.
I was the child that didn't get to play. It was a very big deal to me that we extend the invitation to those children in any way that we could. And so, and then there's a lot of families who, especially because nowadays sports are very expensive, and it can be very, very pricey. Our prices are pretty bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? We wanted to make sure that we covered all of the individual fees, plus again, that at least one scholarship per team. And we've exceeded that, as far as what we've been able to fund. And so but then there's families who can pay it and will pay it. And those tend to also be the families who are like, what else can I do? How can I, so we've had a lot of support from the community and the parents and everyone. And it's been, our scholarship program is near and dear to me.
Well, I also heard you mention about the lighting situation. And, of course, you've done the research. It's a big deal. But the years I was personally involved at Babe Ruth when we started doing the Musco lighting thing years ago, there's a lot of criteria, safety factors in lighting. And I would highly suggest before you order anything, you need to get with our director of landscape and parks, because he's certified in there's a little bit more to just putting a lamp post up and shining on a child.
Oh, yes, yes,
And,
yes. We understand.
We as a county cannot be liable for such.
No, and what we're looking for is just a tower light rental that's used for events at this point. That is, you know what I mean? It's fully secured. It is its own unit. It'll be up for our practices, and that's really it, just for the duration of this fall season.
And
Come spring,
I don't
we're
want to
good.
confuse you, and
No, you're
because
fine.
I'm confused, but there's such thing as a thing out there in the world called lumens. That's a high liability. So, like I said, there's your professional that's within the county. So, I'd highly recommend y'all need to have a meeting.
Oh, yes, yeah. We've had a little bit of back and forth. We just haven't had the meeting, but we've talked a little bit about it. Yeah, so the lighting, actually, that was our biggest hurdle last fall. Is just, it gets so dark so quickly, and we only have, last spring, we used way more of the park than anticipated, just because we had so many teams, we had so many fields, that ended up causing friction with the other organizations that use the park. So we have to go back, to our smaller area. So with us using that smaller area, that means that our practice, we're cramming 12 teams into whatever daylight hours we have from 5 to 7:19 when it closes. So the lighting is, we're working on it.
Okay. Well, thank you. Anybody else have any questions?
I'm good.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
She's ready to go home.
She is. She's been so ready.
Chamber of Commerce.
You want to stay a while?
Good morning, Commissioners. Not much of a change for us. Real quick, just kind of comprises of three parts. 1950, which is your chamber dues investment. That makes you a chamber builder. That's something the county has done long before I've worked at the chamber. Relocation packet request. That's something you guys have helped with for years. Since COVID, we have not slowed down the amount of people who call or email looking for information about moving to Columbia County. So we provide that. And then lastly, small business support, which will help us cover some costs of various programs we currently do and plan to do in the next year.
Question board?
I appreciate everything Chamber of Commerce
Yeah.
does.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank you a lot.
Swanee Valley Transit. They're requesting the same amount as they did last year. That's pretty much by contract.
I was gonna say, is this a funding request or is this contractual?
This is a
Contractual.
contractual. It's all part of the same budget.
And the,
North Star.
Mr. Mobley?
So they did request funds last year. They were not funded. This year they're requesting $47,500.
Do you have a copy of our funding packet?
Okay, that's in the backup.
It was in the backup material.
Okay, so I brought some if needed. North Star is part of Partnership for Strong Families. And our role in Partnership for Strong Families is to ensure that children are saved once they're removed from homes because of neglect or other types of reasons. When we did a redesign years ago, we determined that the worst thing in the world is to remove a kid from home. That stigma hurts those kids. And as a result, they came up with the resource centers. And the resource centers design has been really successful. There's been some work that's been shown that resource centers actually, $1 invested in a resource center actually has a ROI of 292%. Really helping kids from going into the system, preventing, because research centers are truly a prevention model. So we really try to go out and make sure that we put the effort in helping families from being, and families and children from going into custody, state custody. North Star was actually started in 2001. In 2003, really, we have been working for, I've been here for 5 years, really trying to build this and create a sustainable model. The agency has continued to work on making sure that we create not only a strong relationship with families in our communities, but with all of the partners in our communities. We have over 43 partner agencies that we work with. What makes us as strong and successful as we have been in the last 5 years is really because we work in the office right now with 1.5 resource, me and Patricia Perry. And with that, we're able to help people that come through by referring them to our partners agencies or working with them to be able to figure out what happened. We use what we call protective factors. And when people come to us, whatever it is, most people come to us for a concrete service. And what we try to do is to make sure that we understand what their immediate needs are, but then take those immediate needs to be able to figure out how to help you long term. There's, because of funding and all, many times we can't help them with our funding, but we can actually find funding through faith organizations, through nonprofit, other nonprofit organizations. We're able to work with them to be able to find funding. We have various programs that we work at North Star. We actually we give things for Paneros, and also we're getting ready to open up with the Gateway Food Bank. We will be actually giving healthy foods to families. So people come in and they can receive foods. People donate food to us that we're able to give to families that come to us. People come to all the time needing food. So we're able to help with food, we're able to help with Pampers, we're able to help with daily. We get requests for Pampers and infant milk and formula. So we're able to help parents with that. We have a clothes pantry that we actually help people that come in and need clothes. We're actually on the second and fourth Wednesday of the month, we actually have a clothes giveaway that people come and receive clothes from us. In addition, people come in and use computers. They come in for just basic help. One of the things that people don't realize is many times, especially seniors, do not know how to use computers. And they come and try to have to fill out a form. They don't know how to do that. We actually work with them one-on-one to help them do whatever they need to do. So we're doing that. We're helping people find jobs. And then we also, through Florida Blue and some other agencies, we do an annual health fair. And the health fair that we have this year scheduled for October the 4th, and really trying to help people understand what are the issues within the community with health. The University of Florida just recently partnered with us, and they, on the second and fourth Thursday, they actually bring the OGBYN bus, and that bus actually offers free OGBYN services to anyone that comes to them. So we're doing that through, and they just bring the bus up. We think just plug it in, and we're offering that services to them. Homework help. We actually do homework help. We was really excited this last year with homework help because we expanded it not only do we do homework help, but we receive a grant to be able to buy a module from Age of Learning, which is through, a lot of people know ABC Mouse, that actually will, after our kids finish doing their homework, they actually have to spend 45 minutes on reading and also math skills. And it scaffolds them to be able to figure out where they are and tracks them. And I look at weekly, every night, I go back and I look at where they are and what type of resources that we need to do to help them. So we're working. We were really excited that all 20 of our kids were promoted, and most of them scored a 3 or higher on their year-end test, and some of them came to us very low. So we're working with them, and we would love for you to come out and see the type of work we're doing. When we first started, we had the grant to help us get started. That grant ended, and now we do have the opioid abatement dollars. So we are doing work with opioid awareness. We've had 2 major events with opioid awareness. We're working right now with an agency out of Jacksonville, and they're working with the governor's wife and starting to do some opioid awareness programs with high schoolers. And so we will be actually presenting some programming as well to be able to help high schoolers understand the dangers of opioids and getting into that. So we're doing that. What happens, like I said, is 1.5 resource. So I do, Ms. Pat works to 1 o'clock. I'm there till 5. All of the work that happens, other than that, we work with volunteers. We desperately need another resource. Florida Blue had paid for a resource last year, but that funding ran out. It is in order to be able to help with our youth programming, expanding our youth programming. That resource is critical. So what we're asking for is the $47,000 is really to be able to help pay. That's a half a FTE. We submitted the similar grant to the city as well as to be able to fund the other half. If we receive this from you and not the city, then we would actually hire the person half-time instead of full-time. But the need is desperate. Actually, since I've been there, I have not taken any paid time off at all, mainly because the center can't be closed. And so we work, and I'm a workaholic, so it's not a real issue, but it is necessary that we have coverage, and that's what we're asking for. If you look at what on the page, and you'll see that we have serviced over 5,000, close to 5,000 people, and since we've been open, and we had, and actually there's about 6,200 service requests. Many times people come in for multiple reasons, and we actually help them. Just to say, and I will say last, and I thank Mark and Tammy and everybody else, Chris and all, 2 weeks ago, we did have a back to school giveaway. Last year, we did it when we did the back to school giveaway. The hurricane was coming, and we actually did the giveaway and turned the center turned Richardson right after we had turned Richardson into a shelter. This year we were blessed not to have a hurricane, but we did serve over 1,026 people. They came in through the center to get book bags, and I would just say companies like Walmart, companies like Vistar, and all of those companies really stood up and really helped us fund this effort to make sure that every kid came through received the necessary book bag.
So we're touching communities, we're trying to help, and we really ask you to consider us this year and able to fund us to be able to get a part-time resource to help us out. Thank you. Any questions?
Mr. Mobley, real quick, the opioid project that you were speaking of, you are privy to the opioid money that we're working with, correct? I thought I remembered that. I just want to make sure. So that's a good thing. That's great. And then the position you're talking about, that's one position
That's one position.
at 95,000?
That is the total position. That's the actual position is 50,000 that we're for the position. But what happened is the benefits as well as all of the other resources necessary, like our computers, the cell phones, and all of that, that will come in there. That's what we're saying at 95,000 now. And it, yeah.
Okay, I'm good. All right. Staff, board, okay. Thank you, Ms. Mobley.
Thank you.
So the next one is Makerspace. They're the ones that spoke to you at the last meeting. They were not able to be here today, but they're asking for space at the Lake City Reporter Building. And they, like I said, they spoke at our last meeting. Followed by Swanee Valley Unsolved. This is a new agency, and they're requesting $1,000. Are they here? As they are not, we'll move on to American Legion Post 57. A member of the community contacted Commissioner Murphy and said the Legion needs a generator, and their estimate is it's going to cost about $68,749. And we have somebody here from the American Legion Post 57.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners.
Yes,
My
sir.
name is Bill Huggins, Commander of American Legion Post 57. For those of you who are not aware, American Legion Post 50, our post celebrates its 105th anniversary on the 23rd of September. We've been around the community for a hot minute. Currently, our post numbers with American Legion Auxiliary and Sons total over 1,000 members. We support in the community. We support many organizations such as the Sheriff's Office when they do their summer programs, Renewed, Senior Service Center, Domiciliary, and many others. We're here to support our veterans, our community, and our youth. The Department of Florida named us last year as a disaster distribution center because of our location, the size of our post. We're here, in the event of a disaster like we had last year, we're here to disseminate supplies out to other areas that have need. We're seeking assistance in obtaining a generator that will power the entire facility. This allows us in the event like we had last year with lengthy power outages to have members, first responders, what have you, have a place to come and get a hot meal, get out of the heat, the humidity, bathroom facilities, what have you. Obviously, we'd love to get the full $68,000, but that's a perfect world. But we're in a situation where every dollar we spend to get this generator is a dollar we don't have to help our community, our veterans, and our youth. We received a quote from Holly Electric. We're still working on other negotiations. Bear with me, my eyes. We're just here, again, we're here to help our veterans, our youth and community, and we're seeking a little bit of help from the community to help us do this. Now, the quote we've got so far is $68,000. We're requesting $25,000 towards that. We'll pay that the balance.
So your request is for 25,000?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall, sir, what the KV is on that?
I'm sorry.
What size generator that was?
100 kW,
100 kW.
natural gas.
Okay. Board, any questions? All right, appreciate you
Thank you,
waiting
sir.
us out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So Chris, we finally got to you. This is the Lake City Heat volleyball and basketball programs. Oh, we got Sergio here. And they have been participating in a volleyball program already. They have made personal investments to upgrade the facility, about 15, 20,000, I think it was.
Under that, yeah, so far, the big expenditure is around 10,000.
Sergio, if you don't mind, please give your name for the clerk where she
Yeah,
got it.
name is Sergio Gallegos.
And their seat.
Gallegos.
And they're seeking an additional $12,468 to operate for the first time on a regular basis. That would be their operating costs. Anything they've already expended was donations and would not be reimbursed.
All right, so.
Yes, sir.
We started off literally just before summer. About May, we opened it up to say, hey, we're Lake City Heat Volleyball. And we were able to, partner up with Chris and get a whole program going for no cost to any of the youth to come in and actually learn how to do volleyball, but it's at any skill level. So you could be a novice or you could be someone who's, going into their senior year, which we did see our first week. We saw for the very first day, we had over 45 kids come to just one session, and we're doing 3 each week. And we did that all summer long. I got the date here, but I believe it was June 11th through August 6th. And in that time, we saw at least unique participants, over 100 plus. We saw different ones. And, this is just a brand new program that isn't really offered yet to, the youth in general, that is free to anyone just to come into these sessions, learn how to play the game. If anyone has anyone in, different sports, you'll know, like, keeping it local is a pretty great thing, being able to do that. I know personally, my bonus child, she's going to Gainesville next year for a program. But we're trying to get more and more to stay in-house. We want more to stay in Lake City, starting from, we go everywhere from the littles that are, 8, 9 years old. We're teaching them just the basic fundamentals. And then with the older girls, it's not just about the game. We're teaching them about the ethics, teamwork, which these are all great skills to have, for, everything that you're going to do in your life. Is there any questions you guys got? Or want me to keep going?
So you're saying you serviced about 100 students last year, I guess you said?
Yeah, through summer.
Okay. Okay. You said you had more?
Yeah. So that was just starting this year. And obviously, since this has been going great, we want to keep this program going. So every summer, that is something we're going to be doing. But after the current volleyball season's over for like LCMS, and CHS, all of them, we're going to be starting up. So far, it sounds like it's going to be for sure a thing, but we're going to be starting up a rec league that's going to work tandem with Christ Central. So we'll start off with probably 3 teams this year, and we're trying to get it to where even that is going to be at no cost to the youth for that as well. And so far, from this whole time, we've had anywhere from our coaching staff for Heat, 2 to 4 have been coming to each of the practices. And I believe I was over 78 hours so far, just for, one person to be there full time. And, we're looking at over 230 plus hours that we were able to get in there and actually do some real coaching. Because, unlike some open gym type scenarios, it's not just give them balls and, let them have at it. It's, we're actually teaching them those skills, something that you would normally only get through a paid service. And we're trying to get that to where we can just make that a basic thing for them to already start off with and, keep expanding from there.
Where do y'all practice at now?
Richardson.
Richardson?
Yeah. And so coming in the fall, with that rec league that we're going to be doing, after that, coming into the next year, we want to keep having open gyms throughout that time. Might be a little more sporadic, coming around different sports and everything too. But then full on again for summer, we'll get it, and see how it goes and keep trying to expand where we can.
So do you compete against Richardson basketball, or is this a different organization for basketball? Or
Come on up, Chris. Y'all can tag team.
So, Lake City Heat volleyball, basically, that's what we are. We've never even been up there before. volleyball thing came about racial ban.
Yeah.
They was what Swanee said. Swanee said was practicing that house. So somewhere in there, they said, so the question came, basically, do we get volleyball? So the actually moving forward is what we move forward. Everything that's been done, what he's been speaking about, we can all that. Fine. So what he's talking about now is what our heat and community thing, basically. We didn't have a program for it. We're gonna try to get it. Right? Basketball has been going for 5 years. We travel. No, the great part that he's talking about is volleyball. Based out of Richmond Heat, right, Central, through Lake City Heat coach, volleyball. So no, they won't compete against.
You understand it?
Richardson.
Kinda.
Okay.
So who do y'all play?
We're gonna play.
Is it the travel ball team or what is it?
They're gonna play against Cross
The
Central.
rec,
So you play Cross Central?
so it's two aspects. The rec aspect of it will play against Christ Central. Then we will move into the travel ball part after school season. And they will compete. Now,
Yeah, and the travel ball is a separate thing that doesn't pertain to this.
In other words, we're not paying for travel ball.
No,
That's just win it all.
It's just under,
right.
I didn't want to confuse the two. I'm the director of Lake City Heat as well.
So you deal with Rachel Van Nelson a lot? Wow. You tough, ain't you?
Oh, you asking for trouble, ain't you, boy?
Yeah, I'm scared of her.
So yeah, so it's just like you were saying, extending to Columbia County, all the parties. I've done it with basketball.
Okay, Chris, but for clarification, that's the Heat you're saying. That's not the Richardson. Okay. Okay, that's
That's
one.
why I said I want to stay seated because I don't want it.
And of course, this will be under the, let's call it the Heat umbrella.
Yes.
Right.
How do you fund your Heat basketball? What do you charge your participants? Registration? Okay. And the reason I say that, Sergio, is for the simple fact that, you know, as I stated earlier on in the meeting, taxpayers have an issue. And I'll say it like it is, you know, you're taking taxpayers' dollars and you got a group over here who's going to play T-ball, pays $110 entry fee. That's an issue. And I understand it, you know, and all the years I was personally involved with baseball, you know, we always had a mission out there to try to one day get it to where that the organization could do it cost free. But of course, we all realize, I mean, you got to pay the umpires who want quality help. You know, we didn't pay coaches just like you guys want. But unfortunately, in today's world, everything comes with a cost. And I would just, you know, reach out and recommend you might really need to look at that because it sounds great and what have you, but it's a toughie to sell to the public because I was really and honestly blown away last Monday when T-ball was $110. And I had to make the call last night, 9:30, just to make sure I heard it right. And I've been out of it for a while, so I'm old, but but then again, I know somebody that plays on a travel baseball team, you know, they pay a little bit over $6,000 a season. So that's I couldn't do that. And most people can't, but what y'all are doing to try to advance the sport, because I know what happened. I know the coach at the high school. I know the effort she puts into it, and it's definitely a growing sport. And there's a lot of work behind the scenes with it. So I personally appreciate what you and Ms. Van and your other volunteers have been doing, because it's been noticed. I'll say that for sure. So,
Yeah, it's been great. And, since a lot of them, those same kids that we've been helping out, like I said, some of them already have experience, but being able to keep them up to par and keep playing, and then go to their tryouts, and then you hear about which girls made it on CHS. You hear about the new girls that haven't played yet in 7th grade that are going in, that just made LCMS, and the next time they come to an open gym, they're like, we made it. They're super excited, and it's just something that's been able to help them to keep those skills or gain new ones, throughout this period. So,
and that's a rewarding time. I mean, I'll never forget it. The day they drafted Michael Kirkman to the Texas Rangers, that was a big day at Southside Rec Baseball, and it's, we named stuff after him, and it was a great thing. So it's definitely an accomplishment, because, the past directors out there that got me involved, I praise them every day, because going way back, there's a lot of people in this community did a lot of hard work to get our recreation to the point it is, but we appreciate it. Any other questions from the board? Gentlemen, I'm sorry, sir, I didn't mean to cut you off. Did you have any more presentation to go along with that?
oh, no.
Okay.
No, I mean, I could keep going on, but we got time.
Well, thank you, Chris. I appreciate you coming up, clearing the air. Thank you a lot.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
For the sake of brevity, the last page is basically the things that are the event type stuff that we fund and the TDC funds every year. We're recommending them being funded at the same levels, with the exception of the fireworks, because it is the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, and you did approve for a grant. It doesn't cover the actual fireworks itself, and with tariffs and everything else, we weren't sure how much to include, so we did bump that to 65,000. But other
We
than
have
that,
applied for a grant for that, right?
we applied for a grant to supplement that.
Right.
The grant itself will not cover the fireworks.
And that was, didn't I see a P&L or something on that we budgeted 50,000 and we budgeted 50, and I think we ended up spending 49 and change. Is that correct?
Something I would defer to Amy on that one.
Don't on the fireworks deal is what I was saying. I think I seen the number run around this week, 49,000 or something expended or something. And that's probably not including the donations that Kimmy and the city reached out to get, because am I correct, David?
Oh, it definitely does not include the donations. That would be in
Okay.
addition to the money that the county spent.
Okay, but just for clarification, 24, 25, we budgeted 50,000.
Correct.
We're not budgeting 65,000. 65,000 is a request.
That is what is, no, that's not the grant.
That's
That's what we're requesting on the county side. The
Okay.
grant would be an additional 65.
Okay, I'm sorry.
In addition to that, to cover, the events in the schools and the events leading up to the actual
Plus
event itself.
15,000. Gotcha. Okay.
So next year's budget request for that would have been 65,000.
Okay.
And then some of the community centers wanted some capital projects. We'll talk about that when we talk about capital projects. At this point in time, given the hour, we can continue, or what is the board's preference?
I don't have the guts to tell Ms. Geary she's got to leave to go get lunch and come back. She's been sitting there giving us that eye the whole time. So
All right, so
I personally, I'd like to run through it real quick.
we'll go through them real quick. The first one
I
is
mean,
the,
board, that's up to y'all too.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I heard
fine.
Kevin's stomach
I
growling.
just
but-
need to run to the restroom real fast.
Okay,
Right
we'll
back.
take a little 5 minutes, go to the restroom, please.
Youngest one here, gotta go to the bathroom. I gotta go too.
still want to talk about public safety radios, or want to kick it to next week?
No, I'll just do it next week.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
So we can kick animal enforcement, sheriff's office, and public safety radios today.
yeah, I think the conversation needs to be that we don't want to discuss capital projects next week. And, but the decisions between now and then before I allow capital. Hey, sir. That's, in my opinion, that's conversation. Is
To me, you gotta balance this. We talking about that.
Yep. I'm just trying to shorten it as much as we can.
I reckon he lives with the church. Which one? Never had built enough. Maybe you guys be the one thing. You know, quite frankly, you got those, I don't know that he's probably fine. Yes, oh, we
Budget workshop preparation, little bit, I didn't quite understand it to be this way, but with that being said, Ms. Geary, you and your fellow, people here, please come up. You've already give your presentation prior. Feel free to elaborate on it. And this is, I'm speaking for myself, it's almost a given because what y'all taught us here a couple months back, we got to do something. So I appreciate y'all coming out. Thank you. Yeah.
We thank the commission for your time and for your ear on this matter one more time. As you've already pointed out, Amy Gary is also with us, and we are representing with this discussion the funeral homes in our area that participate with this that we do. It is a service to the community. It's got to be done. And it's indigency is part of it, and also the medical examiner. And we are asking for an increase on the removal and transportation for the medical examiner cases. We're asking $750 per on those. And also the indigency or the unclaimed body. On those cases, we are asking $850 per case.
And David, this lines up with your numbers that you just shared with me just a minute ago, correct?
Yes, yes, it does. And total impact on the budget, if the numbers remain the same, it would be an increased cost between $15,000 and $20,000.
Mhm. And not to speak for them, but when they made the presentation several months back, this is one of them Kyle King deals. This hasn't been addressed in years.
In years.
In years, and oversight.
And when they came before, the board said, bring them back during the budget cycle.
That's right, that's right. And, ma'am, understand, yeah. But already to the point of where you and staff are at in the budget preparation, these numbers are inclusive in the budget as the increased numbers are included in the budget that you're working on to bring us forward back, correct?
Right. I mean, this is something we will assume in the budget unless the board says
Okay.
it's not something that we want to proceed with.
All right, board, any elaboration? I appreciate y'all's patience.
We thank you for your
Hopefully
time.
we educated you some today, but I doubt it, but we'll see. Thank y'all. Thank you, Ms. Gary. And, okay, and like I said, this thing's a little distorted because there's no doubt, as far as, on the budget workshop preparation, I think staff, if I'm not, shut me up if I'm wrong, you're looking for direction. I thought we already made this, but direction on the animal enforcement aspect is, in the prior meeting, we voted 5-0, I think was even promoted publicly, that we're sending force staff forward to build kennels. Are you clear with that, Mr. Kirby?
Right. So the last meeting, we broke it up into two parts, Part A and Part B. Part A was, do we go back to do nothing like we did October of 23? You said, no, you want to move forward. You want to move forward with independent kennels. And Part B was, where is the funding source coming from? At that meeting, you said reallocate the monies that we currently fund the Humane Society to do the capital project. That was your vote at the last meeting.
Right.
And based on what we've heard since the last meeting, what we've received here today, staff needs clarification. That is still the mood of the board, if you may.
Board, everybody understand that clear as ice? I mean,
So I think a little bit has changed since the last meeting. It's they're asking for the same money again. We haven't before. I just want let me get my thoughts here. So I know me personally, I hadn't seen any calls about dogs or strays and for that prior to this. Right after, whenever the misperception come in, I had no calls. Shortly after that, when the thing come in, then we started seeing a bunch of phone calls about dogs and all that. I just want to make sure we're making the right step and we've covered all our bases is what is all we're doing. I think we have, but I just want to be sure that we are. And again, I'm new to this arena of this part right here. This is new to me, so I just want to make sure that we're just covering everything as we should.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
I was thinking about something I said earlier, and I feel obligated to clarify something. We're talking about a capital cost of X and then a $650,000 reoccurring cost. If we go contractual, that $300,000, that is a perpetual cost also. So I forgot to mention that. So you could reasonably, going this route, you can reasonably assume about $1 million a year operating cost after your one-time capital costs. That's just for clarification.
that's right.
So today, you're spending 525 plus 375, which is still around that $1 million mark. So it somewhat washes. The challenge would be, is that plus funding the Humane Society? That's where I get a little clouded.
Okay, so David, Joel, whoever wants to elaborate, can if they want, but at this point in time, we got 2 months to go to the end of contract. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so going forth as of today, I think this board's giving clear direction to Mr. Kirby and his operational team as they're still in Levy County. With that being said, we're building kennels. We're not going to no more negotiations. We're under a time frame here. But the remaining 2 months, we will fund the remaining money on the contract pertaining that the contract is followed as is agreed upon as of today, not with negotiated rates. Negotiated
We have,
inserts, if you want to say.
correct. We are not proposing to terminate the contract early. The contract expires the end of September. If the board wishes, we can seek to see if they want to go on a month-by-month afterwards until the kennels are built. I can't say they do or don't. I haven't asked them. But right now, we are not at all planning to break the contract.
But as the contract says, they will receive the animals that we produce. If they decide not to, we're gonna have to come back.
They're
Am I
not doing
correct?
that now though, right?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, I know that's what, I'm adding words to your,
Okay.
you're not saying that, but Joe, would that be a realistic?
I mean, at this
Thing on our-
late date, the easiest thing is just complete out the contract.
Well, that's what I'm saying, complete it out, but we still got somewhere to put dogs for 2 months. So what I'm saying is if somebody says, we don't have a place to put dogs, but go ahead, Mr. Kirby.
Actually, it's longer than 2 months.
I
Mr. Chair.
understand, yeah.
But I think, let's put the elephant in the room, right? What David is saying, we've been making do for a couple months the way we've been doing it, right? The contract currently expires the end of September. Unless we have our marching orders today. And that's the one thing I need clarification on. My marching orders are the same as they were a week ago, 2 weeks ago. That's my question.
Your marching orders are clear on
And,
my
and
part, Kip,
I'm looking at the material that was provided here. The alternative that's being presented, we still build a 20-unit kennel on our property. So I don't know that your directive to Mr. Kirby changes at all.
What now, what?
The proposal that I'm looking at right here.
The one that was just
Humane
given to
Society
you.
Letterhead.
You go. Oh, I got it.
Well, just to address the issue, so we can continue to have these discussions,
No,
but even under
I
this
disagree.
proposal.
I disagree.
Well, no, Commissioner, what I'm saying is for Kevin's purposes, he's wanting to know, should he stop? Even if for some reason you went with this proposal, even the Humane Society's proposal right now has us building our own 20-unit kennel versus a 40-unit kennel. So he should keep going forward is what I'm hearing.
Kevin?
And thank you, Mr. Attorney. On my side of things, I'm trying to build a building.
Right.
So there's a bunch of difference between 40 kennels and 20 kennels. So my question, Mr. Chair, you asked me to go build a 40 kennel facility. Is that what the desire of the board is today?
100% on Tim Murphy's side, clear. Yes, I want you to start building 40.
And just, so we're in a workshop. y'all have already approved formal action.
Yes, yes, that's
And
right.
So I mean, even, and I understand what Kevin's trying to get at.
Mhm.
If we need to change that action for some reason, we would need to call a special meeting and have another vote.
Well, and I've got during break, I overheard Mr. Hollingworth sit there and say, you already got a TV 20 presentation out there on the wavelength. They only tell half the story. So we're going to build 40 kennels and we're in the business. That's it. That's my opinion.
Mine too.
Anybody else like to reiterate on that? Have free. So, all right, clear on that, Kevin?
Yes, sir.
We're off and running. Sheriff's Office on preparation.
We have a meeting set up this week with the sheriff on Wednesday, and hopefully by Thursday, we can give you a better presentation based on our conversations with the sheriff.
And David, I assume that you will be calling each one of us commissioners in one-on-ones to, as this thing escalates, correct? And I'm not just saying the sheriff's budget, but we'll all stay in, I mean, we all stay in close communication with you anyway, so that's how we keep up with it.
Yes.
Good. Good. Okay, the
So
public
next
safety
Thursday,
radio,
we'll talk about the sheriff's office again.
go ahead.
The next item, Mr. Chair, the reason we put that on there, we had our capital project request from all the folks in the county, all the department heads. And this one really caught our attention. This is a need for your radio tower upgrades. So you're currently preparing to construct the tower at Swanee Valley Road, for example, okay, Swanee Valley area. When Lawrence put in his capital project request, I had to call him to make sure I wasn't seeing too many zeros. When I saw $5 million annually for 5 years, I said, Lawrence, I called him, you made a mistake here, right? He said, no, sir. So I said, oh boy, I've learned more in 3 days about radio towers than I ever desired to. But I'm glad Motorola to be here next Thursday. Now we're going to capture all the capital project requests. This is just one of them, but I do want y'all to be thinking about this because I validated through a couple meetings of folks that know what they're doing in that world. It is a real number. And I did not see that coming. And I've learned a lot about alternatives and things of that nature, but probably one of the biggest things we need to capture is it smart to go ahead with this new tower, as is with Motorola, because we don't have a dollar set aside for this at all. And this is a humongous perpetual deal that kind of blindsided us.
Kevin, is there any explanation? Technology as a rule, better and cheaper.
Yeah.
Why is this different?
Joel, I'm gonna tell you the way I understand it. You go and buy a Mercedes, it's the best car on the market. Motorola's the best car on the market. You buy that Mercedes, you're gonna take it to Jacksonville, get the service, you're gonna pay $300 or $400. And I think you've captured an animal right there that's exclusive to that one entity. And when I really got it nervous was when I learned that's just not a one-time upgrade. That just keeps on giving.
Every year.
Now, Sherelle reached out to a lot of other counties. We got a big old list. What are y'all doing? They're in the same exact predicament we are. So Motorola's going to be here to explain to us their position. But gentlemen, when you're starting about $20-25 million in 4 or 5 years, that's just a no deal.
Well, it reminds me of landfill work, everything, all these preemptive, we'll call it preemptive on Motorola side, but I appreciate it. Okay. Any questions, board? All right. David?
So the North Florida Mega Industrial Park wastewater treatment plant / debt. This has become an issue, not because the county is in trouble or because the county is trying to do anything strange. We always look at revenues of single time, one-time revenues and reoccurring revenues. We have debt that is, you could pay it off, that's one-time revenue. If you pay it off, then you don't have your debt service. That debt service then is money that you have that is reoccurring that can be paid towards some other reoccurring object. So while we were looking at ways to raise reoccurring money for paying for law enforcement, one of the options was paying down some of our debt and using that debt money that we would be paying annually towards the sheriff. So that's how that came up. And one of the options was the city has always said they would like to own the plant at the industrial park. We currently carry $5.5 million debt on that plant for the Department of Commerce and another $1.5 to $2 million debt for the landfill. Obviously, every year you pay debt service on that. If we pay off that debt or have somebody pay it off for us, then that frees up that debt service money that we can then reprogram for something like the sheriff. So that's how it came up. It has nothing to do with the county's in trouble or the county can't handle it. It's literally just trying to limit our liability and our exposure. Now, there's a lot that goes with it. It's not just a simple matter of they're going to give us money. And we would have to do an interlocal agreement and get the two attorneys involved. That's where that came from. But before, I know the city manager went to his board and said, hey, let's go buy it. And now it's out there in the public and everybody knows it's out there. This board has never even heard it. And before we go further, we want to make sure the board's even interested.
I'm open to look at any proposal y'all bring forth, but as you just stated clearly, you called me Friday and you say, hey, you're gonna read something in the newspapers that we haven't had discussion on. I appreciate that little heads up. It wasn't that impactful for me, but I'm open to anything that's going to open up the availability of other reoccurring funds. And so, you know, I'm not committing to nothing. I said, but I'll more than likely, I'll be more than glad to look at anything.
Well, what I read in the paper is $3.5 million. $3.5 million ain't gonna pay off our debt. Not only that, we've committed to DEP that we would do a deep well injection for our cup out there. Now, we've got a lot of obligations that we are obligated. In that contract we have with the city, we're still obligated for the spray field, to maintain and operate the main field, the spray field. So there's a lot more than just paying off the debt. If we want to get reoccurring money for paying off debt, we should take the money out of reserves, pay the debt off, and then you got reoccurring money. Simple as that. That's the easiest way to solve that issue. You're going to be bringing a proposal next week to pay off some more debt. We sat here for 5 years. I've sat here and heard how much money we have in reserves. If we need to come up with revenue that we're servicing debt with, pay the debt off with reserves. You've got reoccurring revenue that you're not paying right then for that debt service anymore. That's the simplest way to do it. Just end it like that. You're not doing it. The deal the city come up with does not relieve us of our debt. And it certainly don't relieve us of our obligations. So to me, that's a non-starter.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I had an opportunity to meet with Clay Martin yesterday. And I think Commissioner Ford's kind of hit the nail on the head. And Mr. Martin, he's the city's attorney. He understood, like, if this is something that happens, the county has to become completely unfettered, right? Whatever I like to say warts and all. And so one of the things we talked about was just a full assumption of the debt. Whatever our debt service is, whatever our obligations are, the city takes over all of it, or none of it. Because conversations I've had with David, and my conversation probably after your conversation with him was, why would you do a deal if you're not going to come out at least, with your head at the water level? You can't do the deal and be underwater. I think that's Commissioner Ford's point. I think
I agree with
that's our
Rocky
default
100%.
bargaining position.
Because I'm like with Rock, there's, just because it's a deal, if you want to call it a deal, there's always excruciating factors that go along with it, and the commitments that we made prior back, and that's the thing we got to pay very, very close attention to. And I'll just go on to say, I wasn't here when the properties were purchased, as an example, at the Ellisville site, but I'll almost assure you that property was bought with grant funding, and guess what? There's baggage goes along with it. So, the hopes of granting somebody property in the future for future use, it's not that simple.
That's right.
It sounds as though that it is, but the points Mr. Ford brought up, I agree with him 100%. There's a lot of road to travel before you make a commitment such as
And,
this.
and the issue on assumption of debt, we owe that debt to Commerce.
That's right.
Commerce has to approve that.
There you go.
It's not just we sign a piece of paper and it happens.
DEP.
Everything that we've obligated ourselves to do, the people we're obligated to would have to come back and say, we're fine with putting the city in your shoes, county.
Correct.
That may not happen.
Yeah.
We have no way of knowing if that would happen until we get that far down in the negotiation.
I agree.
And again, there were items in the original agreement with the city, like the spray fields, like the splitting of 50/50, that would all have to be taken care of.
Yep.
I mean, if you do this, this would be to limit your exposure. If it doesn't limit your exposure, it's not a good deal.
That's exactly right. It don't limit your exposure a bit. And 3.5 million definitely don't pay off our debt. So I don't see how we benefit from this at all. That deal.
It would have to be a benefit for me to
Yeah,
consider,
right.
because like I said, don't want to sound boastful, but we're not worrying about making a truck payment next month,
So I think the total amount they were throwing around is about $7.5 to $8 million,
If I may, Dave.
but they
not to
only
put-
wanted to do 3.5 upfront.
And y'all collectively, attorneys, put that together, because with these kind of numbers being spat, I mean, we all sat here and listened, everything we just heard a few minutes ago about Animal Grove, and it's already over North Florida. Different. So let's not even use numbers yet, okay? So I'm just asking that out of courtesy that, because you know how it is. You read the same verse of the Bible, got 10 different interpretations.
But my point is, we can do the same thing, just paying off the debt. We can generate reoccurring funds from we're paying debt service right now. We're just paying off the debt. And we have the reserve to pay the debt off. Do we not, David?
And that's why we'll go over the reserves next week with Mr. Powell.
Okay. Mr. Ford, anything else, sir? Kevin, okay.
I'm good.
Where we go? You got something else, another screen, or are we done?
That's it?
Huh?
Yeah, public comment on your agenda.
I realize that, yeah, okay. Okay, at this time, before we go to staff comments or anything, public comments, 3 minutes, anybody like to come forth? Please, Mr. Loker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I understand it's late in the hour. I don't know if this is working. Last week or a week ago, I went to a Suwannee County Commission meeting for the first time in maybe 15 years. As they gaveled the meeting to order, or just before, when they found out the microphones didn't work, they postponed the start of the meeting so that the public in the room and the public at home, because they post their meetings on YouTube, could hear what the people had to say. I don't know how long this has not been working, it has been working. But the first person at the microphone today was probably one of the most important people, if not the most important person in the county, was the sheriff of Columbia County. He was responsible in a big part for the public safety of everybody that lives in Columbia County and passes through Columbia County. Yet, I can't wait to hear this YouTube, is that nobody in the public will probably be able to understand what he said. Or will with great difficulty. I would respectfully point out to you, Mr. Chairman, that it was the chairman of the Suwannee County Board of Commission that put the meeting on hold until the microphones were fixed. As you know, Columbia County now has the lowest starting salaries of any road deputy in the surrounding counties. That's a big problem. It's a big problem for this community, and it's a big problem for the sheriff's office. That needs to be solved. I guess that's what you're going to do with your meetings with the sheriff, try to solve that. The sheriff, and maybe, I didn't hear one insightful question from this county commission to the sheriff today. I'll go back and listen because I think your guys' microphones were working, and I probably will have no idea what the sheriff had to say. You know, you need to look at compression, and you need to jack up the $47,000 a year that starting deputies get paid if you have the future of this county at heart. And the other thing is, before I gave a note to Mr. Kirby, says, is the sheriff, you could read the note, I forget what it said. He said, is the sheriff supposed to be providing security for this room? He is. Very trying times right now. Uvalde, you name it. Go to a parking lot. Sheriff's deputies are the guys that are trained to secure rooms. They should be up there, not reading their cell phones. But Mr. Kirby looked around and Mr. Kraus looked around, and there was no deputy there, and there's no deputy now. And I think that's something that has to be taken care of in the future. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you.
Chairman.
All right. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. Afternoon.
My name is Jackie Bader. I'm on the board for the Lake City Humane Society. I've been there for a couple of months. I'm also a volunteer there. I believe Chris Batten passed around some information for you all to take a look at, and I just would like to explain it for a few moments that I have your attention. The purpose of the proposal that was given to you is to reopen discussions between the Lake City Humane Society, the Columbia County Commissioners, and the Animal Enforcement, and begin agreement negotiations between the Lake City Humane Society and the Columbia County Commissioners. It is in the best interest of Columbia County residents for us to remain partners and to provide a variety of beneficial animal services to our growing and expanding community. Instead of, again, these are just suggestions, these are ideas, these are things that I think we'd like to bring to the table and talk about as a partnership. Instead of constructing 40 kennels off-site, Columbia County constructs 20 kennels. They are used as an overflow. The size reduction would reduce the cost currently estimated of construction and ongoing expenses such as maintenance, labor, medical care, kennel supplies, pet food, utilities, and insurance by approximately 30 to 50% for you all. The Lake City Humane Society will provide Columbia County and Animal Enforcement the same or similar contract that is provided to the city of Lake City. In return, the county provides Lake City Humane Society with approximately the same annual funding that is provided by the city of Lake City. There's a reason after that I would ask for more money later on. The Lake City Humane Society accepts no more than 20 dogs and 5 cats per month, or agreed upon and mutually acceptable by both parties and our executive director. The Lake City Humane Society will remain a no-kill humane society. The only animals they will euthanize are those deemed aggressive and unadoptable into the community or medically necessary. With respect to the animal enforcement off-site kennels, the county will contract with a third party, which you mentioned earlier, for off-site euthanasia services at your own expenses. Animals to euthanize will be taken from animal enforcement off-site kennels, not from the Lake City Humane Society. In addition to contract funds, Columbia County will provide full funding 1 time per year for annual county-wide spay-neuter programs. The Lake City Humane Society will provide an estimated cost for the program and coordinate all aspects of the event. This is a great community outreach program, not only for all parties of the proposal, but the Columbia County community as well. Some of the items, we also would like to possibly build in partnership with you, an on-site new kennel at the Humane Society. You will see the information that I posted, the bullet points for the benefits of that new facility at our Humane Society, and we would like to split those costs with you by gaining funding and donations from the general public. So thank you very much for your time. I submit that respectfully from the Lake City Humane Society and our Board of Directors. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Name is Mark Magstead. First of all, I appreciate what y'all are doing. These are really, really tough times, and I can't imagine, as a former business owner, the challenges you face with reduced funding and legislation that is doing everything possible to make your job harder and taking away funding, necessary funding, and as many people as you're hearing say you're doing a bad job, I disagree. I think y'all are doing a great job. Things like the mega industrial park news that came out in the newspaper, the first thing that I thought when I read the headline and a little bit of the article, I can't remember my comment, but it wasn't positive. Sometimes things happen around our house, something will come up and Tammy will say, I wish you would consider such and such a topic. And I always say to her, I consider everything. And sometimes I just automatically say no. So I appreciate you considering, looking at every aspect of what the offer is, and trust that after discussion, you'll come up with a reasonable response.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Tammy, you're kind of soft on him. You say, you. Anybody else, please? No? Okay. Yes, ma'am. This-
Pam Shelnick. I'm new to Columbia County from South Broward. Love it up here. But I'm a little late to this party with the Humane Society. So I just would like a little clarification. So the county is going to build a facility for the animals, for the dog, no cats. And it's going to be a non-kill shelter. It's going to have 40, because the person who's building it, from what I thought I heard, because again, the microphone is hard to hear, that the person that's going to build the facility will also build the 40 kennels, will take those and rehome those, is what I thought I heard. So, I'm sorry. So that's what I'm trying to get clarification, because when I moved up here 5 years ago, it was a kill shelter. And I had a dog dumped on my property, and I kept him because it was a kill shelter. Because Broward County, we no longer have the Humane Society is no longer a kill shelter. I think it still is not a kill shelter. So I kept him. And then recently, whoever nominated Elizabeth, and I read that it's a non-kill shelter, and I sprung into action. And I went to see her, and I went to visit her, and I had a conversation with her, and it was all good conversation. That I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. And now I'm hearing in this short period of time, few months, that now it's automatically being decided to build a facility and what I'm hearing is not work or try to figure out. Could be wrong. Like I said, I'm my first meeting. So that was the only thing that I just want clarification, that we're building we'll have 2 non-kill shelters in Columbia County, the new one and then the Humane Society. And that's the only one thing I'd like that clarification.
Mr. Chair?
Were you here to hear Mr. Kirby's presentation?
I've been here since 9:30.
Okay,
That's
okay.
what I heard. I heard from him.
Mr. Chair, we can pretty much straighten that out. Where we're at today is we pick up more dogs than there is space for.
Understand.
The Humane Society is doing a great job. We're not criticizing them at all. Elizabeth has done a wonderful job. We need to pick up more animals than there is space. So what the county is committed to doing is building a facility so that we have more space to pick up the dogs that are out there, that we have to pick up for public safety reasons. That's completely separate from the other aspect. What Mr. Kirby talked about this morning was a contract for somebody to take the dogs beyond what we can handle. We have to hold them X number of days. We don't have the luxury of being able to hold them longer than that. I mean, a little bit, but not like 100 days, 200 days. We just don't have that luxury. So we found somebody who, for a contracted amount, $300,000 a year, will take these dogs and rehome them. It's never a no-kill shelter because there's always going to be sick dogs, injured dogs, vicious dogs, bite dogs. So I'm not going to tell you that we're not a no-kill shelter, but our goal is never to kill animals. Our goal is to try and find a humane way to find them new locations.
And ma'am, if I may clarify, the contractor stated he is going to attempt to do a better success rate than we currently have. But David hit it on the head. We've got X amount of room. We're dealing with public safety. That's why I kept emphasizing you have two different mission statements. You've got the humane side, you've got animal enforcement side. We were contracting with the Humane Society. Ms. Elizabeth made the decision a few months ago to become a no-kill shelter. Therefore, that prompted us to meet, negotiate, discuss, and that's why we're here today.
And I don't want to speak for Miss Elizabeth, but part of the reason was before she got here, they had to make room for the dogs that we bring in because we bring in more dogs than they have room for, which meant they had to get rid of dogs. This is to build more capacity and figure out a way to handle the dogs so that they can be a no-kill shelter. We want to support those efforts.
Like I said, I don't know. I have not had conversation with them. I'm totally on my own here. I am not volunteered with them. I don't have anything to do with them except for recently them changing from a kill shelter, however you want to do it. I get it. And I assume that they would have to still do the same thing at the Humane Society. If they get them in, they're too old, they're too sick, they're violent or whatever. So it's the same concept. But what I'm hearing, and I don't, like I said, this is my first time. I didn't make it to the commission meeting. This is the workshop. I understand I'm maybe too late or whatever. It just, to me, doesn't sound like, as a public citizen, that I don't feel that maybe, and I could be wrong, and please tell me, was there enough communication with the Humane Society? To me, it's a lot of money to build another facility. You're going to have to hire people. How many people are going to go and volunteer at the county versus volunteer to help save money for employees at the Humane Society?
And it really boiled down to, we get calls for people who need a service, for a public safety service. We can go out there and pick up all those dogs. They can't take them. So then what do we do with these dogs?
But why can't we help build something? Like I said, I haven't even seen their facility. I don't even know what room is out there, but why wouldn't we try to help them that already exist?
We're, I'm sorry, ma'am. 3 minutes is up. We've already beat this horse, but what I want to offer up to you, please, if you'd like to, feel free to go sit down with our director over animal control, Tom Warmoth. Mr. Kirby, he's a very busy man, but we are reacting to a situation that we are responsible for public safety. As I mentioned before, what I seen earlier, TV 20 down there has already took it and twisted it, so whatever. But, we got the same goal. I'm not even going to go into the years of service I put in there, with previous directors and what have you. That doesn't matter. But I appreciate your interest, and we're going to work forth to make this a good venture for everybody, and I appreciate it. But like I said, if you feel like you need to reach out to staff and you'd like to have a one-on-one, I'm sure they'll sit down and give you as much clarification as we can possibly give you. And but I appreciate you. Thank you. Okay. All right. Anybody else?
Good morning, Commissioners. Savannah Bowden. I mostly have a question, and I'm not affiliated with the Humane Society, but I have taken in 5 dogs in the past month. Because of where they came from, I have a great relationship with Liz as well as Tom. So I've spoken to both sides of the aisle here. And my biggest question is, were there other options, or was it we continue the contract or we build the impoundment facility? Because my understanding is that there was never additional conversation about something in the middle there.
Again, I think that was covered in the 9:30 approach. I mean, you heard Mr. Kirby say, David Kraus was there, our attorney was there. There was, however you want to split the hairs, there was conversation. And to my understanding, all three of y'all tell me, shut up if I'm wrong. It was stated from the society, and there's nothing wrong with a no-kill society. I'm not arguing that, but is this, are you standing on this? And the statement was, yes, this is our mission. Is that correct, three of y'all?
That's the way I understood it.
Okay. And that's, so that doesn't
I
answer the
complete-
question. I'm confused.
It doesn't.
Okay.
But the reason I say that is, were there other proposals or was it just this impoundment facility?
We reacted to the Humane Society's proposal. You know, a contract was broke in the middle of the contract.
Mr. Chair?
No, hold on a minute, Dave.
Okay.
I got this. Let's stay down and be calm. The contract was broke at the end of discussion. You break most contracts in the civil world of business, somebody gets sued. Nobody's getting sued here. But, you know, so
And thank you,
I
Mr.
don't,
Murphy.
I don't want to continue to beat the same dead horse because as we just did 5-0, we didn't take a vote, but the consensus was, Mr. Kirby, continue down the path you're going. We're going to be in business.
Yeah, and I don't think that the impoundment facility is necessarily a bad idea. I think if it is approached with care and transparency, it could be really helpful to the community. And I'll talk to Mr. Hollingsworth about that after this. And I think Mr. Kirby will do a lovely job, but I think there are a lot of questions that still linger, even though you've been wonderfully transparent today. I just wasn't sure if there was something in between these two options, because it sounds like there's a continuous ask for negotiation and that's being continuously shut down. So I was not in that meeting. I do not know. But that's my 2 cents.
Well, I'll assure you, Tim Murphy's part, there will be much transparency here. And is it gonna, you know, we'll get to that point, but I appreciate Mr. Hollingsworth from what I understood and Mr. Kirby taking the time to go down there and, you know, back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago when I dealt that, I went to Clay County. I went to Fernandina. I went to Nassau County. I seen how they did it. So, you know, this is not something that's just developed, but I appreciate your time. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. Come on up, please. You got Miss Batten's name, I'm sure. Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Kirby, Mr. Cross, what is the name of the contractor we're going to be paying $300,000 to?
Ma'am, I don't have it with me.
Okay, that was one of my points. Do you know, David?
We don't have a contract with him yet. We're in negotiations.
Right, I just like to know.
So I can get you that information.
Okay, but neither of you know the name offhand on a $300,000 expenditure, and you can't tell us who the contractor is. I just wanted to check on that, their validity, their credentials, and their history. That's all. But yes, I would like that. Thank you.
Our director knows him personally. I have done business in the past, and I did not retain his name.
He's the one that trains animal control officers and gives them their certification.
Oh, the certifications for euthanasia.
No,
Is that
well,
correct, or is that a different
no,
person?
Animal control officer certification.
I understand. Well, I know that you
Does
had
he have
discussion with another
certifications?
gentleman who actually certifies people to do euthanasia, and he was going to initially do them for $75 a pop, and then he wanted $300 a pop, and anyway, that all went away. I just wanted to know who the contractor was, that's all.
And we'll be happy to provide that.
Sir?
What do you suggest we do with the dogs you refuse to take at the Humane Society? What should we do?
I don't know. I hate it. I hate it, yes, and I love that you're gonna have the
I've got
kennels.
questions for you too. I mean, you got
Mhm.
questions for us. I
And
understand.
Bill-
We've
Bill,
got
the
dogs
kennels.
we've got to pick up. We got to do something with.
Yes, sir, you do. A lot of people drop them off, and I don't want that either. Why not consider building the kennels on our property where we can work together? Sir? Sir?
I said, we're looking for answers also.
I know, we
That's
are
one of the
too.
solutions we've looked at so far.
I know. I wish we had had more time to
I mean,
take their proposal and ours and try to come together and work together. That would have been so ideal for all of us. And, but I do appreciate your time. It's been
Let me
such
ask
a
you-
long meeting.
I want to ask something, Ms. Batten, because I know you. I want to ask you.
Yes.
Do you know of any other county that is in business with the Humane Society? Because Alachua County is not, Levy County not, and Gilchrist County isn't. So what I'm wondering is what surrounding area has a deal with the Humane Society? Because I will say, when we were at one of the dog, what y'all call a dog pound, I call it a dog facility. You know, I don't like the name dog
Same
pound.
thing. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not. I don't even think you said it. Somebody else said dog pound, but the one of the people at one of those said they tried. In fact, Alachua County tried that. I believe, if somebody can correct me, but Alachua County and their Humane Society is at an impasse. They do not work together at all. Now that's what I'm hearing. You know how you hear things.
I know.
That comes straight from Russell County. I talked to.
Yeah, Alachua County does. So it's, I think that what we're all trying to say, we all don't want one dog to die in this county. We don't. We
And I
don't.
believe that.
But there is the Humane Society is in the business of no animal dying. And I understand that completely. And that's wonderful. It's great. I think y'all getting that status is unbelievable. We don't want dogs to die either, but we're county, we are funded by the taxpayers, and we have to do what they ask us. We don't have the someone, no, we're not taking those. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. I wish we could. I wish we could say, look, we're not taking your dog, because we don't want anything to happen. So we're funded by the taxpayer, and I've had 20 dogs in the last 2 weeks. People are mad at me. They're not mad at you. They're not mad at Humane Society.
I know.
Mad at Rob
They're
Hollingsworth.
calling
And mad at
y'all.
every other commissioner here.
Mhm.
Why aren't you getting these dogs? I had one lady with 6 dogs, one with 4, another one with 5 or 2 or 3 in the neighborhood. So we're in a completely different situation than you are. We've got people that think a dog might bite their child, and they've got dogs that are hungry coming up their door and going around and getting against their dogs. It's just we're not here as a humane society. We're as serving the taxpayer.
Animal control.
So there's two completely different missions here.
I agree.
We're serving the taxpayer. You guys are serving the animals, which is wonderful. And I'm glad we got you here. It's wonderful that we have you, but you won't find many places. And I don't know, you can tell me one day, is that the Humane Society and the animal enforcement and county work together. I know not in Gilchrist, I know not in Levy, and I know not in Alachua.
Well, I
So
commend
those are the
you
three
because you
counties.
are an exceptional county. I commend
what
you
I'm
for
saying?
working with us.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? So there's a reason for that. And even in the Alachua County statement, it says us and the Humane Society are at an impasse. I think that impasse is the fact that one has a different mission than the other. That's all
that's
it
true.
is. And I'm not mad. I'm happy y'all still have, I think it's wonderful, but we have 2 different missions, and that's all we can say.
But at
And
the
it's-
end of the day, we have an obligation to our constituents.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
I mean, I still got 20 dogs out there that are.
I
you
know, and you've just recently had a big influx of calls, is what I understand. But you know, partially the reason is you're in that season. You're in that puppy kitten season. And with 61 kennels and 114 adult dogs in our facility, we really are way over capacity. So, and I'm hoping, we're going, as the year goes on, the numbers are going to go down. But, we still want to work with the county, because we will have open space, open kennels. And so there will be a lot of adoptable dogs that are going to come through. And it's my understanding we are still going to maintain a relationship with you and take whichever ones that we can
Yeah, if
that
y'all-
are healthy,
I
adoptable,
know
and
Kirby will say, come on every
Mhm.
day, come see it. And we're even doing a no stress environment where we drive the truck into the kennels, and they go straight from the truck into the kennel. They don't get drug across across a yard we're trying to make it as simple as we can, and
Well,
as
I appreciate
less
that.
stressful as we can. You know
And
what I
that's the only reason I wanted to know who the contractor was, because I think that's the big question in everyone's minds. Are you true to what you're saying? Are we
and
going to
he-
try and rehome these babies?
And this guy, the guy that Kirby talked to, said he will keep complete records of every animal.
Excellent, excellent.
Go ahead, Joel.
Oh,
real
no,
quick.
I'm-
Oh, I'm sorry. Rocky, do you have something else?
I'm good.
Okay.
I think we.
Thank you, Miss.
I'm good too. Thank you. Thank you
ma'am.
again.
Appreciate you hanging in there.